Rushmore, but he's on mine. The blonde bomber, Terry Bradshaw.
Did you compare him to Kevin White, Alex?
I wouldn't put that label on him because I do think he's better than Kevin. So, I mean, Ohio State receiver, you could essentially end the evaluation and the analysis there because that coaching and what they do with wide receivers at Ohio State is awesome.
I don't give a damn how young he is. We are not leaving out Patrick Mahomes. You're the young goat. The young goat.
What's up, YouTube? How's it going? It's draft night. Hope everybody had a good night. How's it going, Alex?
Oh, it's going. I'm pumped for this draft, man. As we get closer, I keep hearing more and more rumors that get me excited.
Yeah, what are you hearing?
So first and foremost, obviously repping my Steelers here tonight, and hearing that Shedeur is likely to fall to them even if they stay put at 21. And all I'm seeing is how good the fit is and how that's expected to happen. Even the betting lines have moved to where that's the favorite spot for Shedeur to land, and I'm all for it. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing too. Shedeur's supposed to go to the Steelers. What's up, Terrence? How's it going?
What's up, man? I'm gonna be in and out until probably about 8. So I ain't gonna be able to be consistent until then.
All good.
Yeah, that's fine.
We're here.
Me and Alex.
It's gonna be a long night anyway, so.
Yeah, we'll probably be jumping in and out little bits here and there. Anyways, Terry's gonna join us later. Got him in the text. He said, "Go ahead, go live." So that's why we're here. Thanks for joining us, for watching the draft with us and getting our thoughts. And we got Terry here now, so I don't know if he's ready to come up on stage. Let him.
Yep, I'm always ready, bro.
All right.
Hell
How's
yeah.
it going, Terry?
What's going on with you guys?
Got the whole crew together.
Much. Yes, sir.
Got my whole draft day prep in. Started out with a coffee, watching draft day, the movie. Love that movie. Probably watch it 4 times a year, but always on draft day morning. And then I always time my Madden season so that I can do my draft in the afternoon after draft day.
Right. So, you want those Madden heads.
Oh, yeah. I love Madden. I've had so many people smash controllers, I'm like, are you sure you want to play me? Yeah, I'm good. I'm like, are you sure you're good? Yeah, I go live. I'm good. And by halftime, I'm up 125-3, and they're like, "Son of a bitch!"
Right.
I told you, man. I'm like really good.
Right. Do you play for money?
No, I don't know. I haven't played a lot, and that's when I was really playing. I'm not as good as I once was, but I still got the play calling and stuff, and know that all down, and how to trick the defenses or offense and time it all up right.
Right.
So
right.
Everybody in agreement? Cam Ward's probably going first overall.
Yeah, that's easy. They didn't make no trade.
Well, the betting lines on that is now negative 20,000, which means it's gonna happen. You got to bet $20,000 just to win 100.
Well, yeah, because he was on a live stream 2 days ago, and at the end of it, he went #tighten up.
Of course.
Yeah, and then he did an interview with the Titans guy who ever does their news for their websites and that. Did an interview with them. They're like, "Who's your favorite coach?" He's like, "Brian Callahan." "Who's your favorite player?"
Yeah, right.
Calvin Ridley. Just saying all these answers. So it's definitely going to be Cam Ward.
Oh, speaking of, did you guys see that last-minute signing last night?
No,
just before the draft.
Tyler Lockett?
Yeah, Tyler Lockett, $4 million to the Titans.
Yeah.
Good for him.
So,
isn't that what Boyd went?
Isn't that what?
Isn't that the same place Boyd went to? Or did he go somewhere else? Yeah.
Yeah, he was there
last year. Yeah, he was there last year. I'm not sure if he's still there.
Right.
You got some Coronas going on?
Yeah, I got some little orange Corona.
Nice. I've got my buddy's beer factory for McKinnon's Brewery. It's a local brewery, but they're starting to really expand. So
Nice.
Don't brag on the good shit that y'all got up there in Canada. I know y'all got some special stuff up there.
Yep.
It's just different, man. Like I'm a border town, so we got a lot of the young kids from Fort Drum that would come over and think they could drink, and then you start handing them, instead of their American beer that you brought, you switch it with the Canadian beer, and you just see their eyes light up, going, "What the hell?" Yeah, it's definitely different, but
yeah, I have one brewery is near my house. It's called Red Oak, man. It's organic beer. It has to stay cold, so once it gets hot, you have to throw it away. That sounds kind of like some Waterboy shit, right?
It does.
But yeah, it's the best beer. This dude used to buy. I'm like, bro, why you buying this expensive ass beer for like a 6-pack? You paying like $11. And when I started drinking it and eating at the same time, because I couldn't drink beer and eat at the same time when I was drinking like Natural Light.
Yeah.
When I started eating that beer, drinking that beer and eating, I'm like, damn, man, you can drink a whole a case of this and don't even get drunk and ready to go to work or whatever. It was really good beer, really good ingredients, man. And I finally understood what a beer connoisseur was.
You're kind of near Charlotte, aren't you?
Yes. About an hour from Charlotte.
Oh, that's not bad. I spent about 3 weeks down there near Charlotte, and we went to that old Mecklenburg brewery. That brewery is so cool. It's an awesome area. I'm not a huge fan of their beers, which apparently don't tell a Charlotte bartender that, because she was so pissed.
Right.
Like she was the one brewing the beer. So we sat down. I was like, "Can you give me something good local that is like real popular?" And she's like, "Yeah, no problem." And she gives me one, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And she's like, "What do you think?" I was like, "It's all right. It's not my favorite." She goes, "Well, that's like the best beer around here. You must not know good beer." And I was like, "No, actually, ma'am, that's the problem. I do know good beer."
Right.
Because we've got so many good ones in Cleveland.
Right. Terrence, what they got up there in down there in New Orleans for us, man? Tell us what y'all got. I know y'all are y'all into breweries? Are you into mixed cocktails? What is it special down in New Orleans? For what type of cocktails should we be looking for?
I'm from New Orleans, but I live in Houston.
Okay.
Okay. I'm a disappoint you. I do not drink.
You don't drink at all? How you ever drink?
No. I
you smoke the ganja?
I don't smoke either. Do none of that. None of that stuff, bro. Like when I used to drink back in the day, it'd be more so for women, because women they never like to drink alone. Like, oh, I'm not gonna just drink by myself. So I'll just appease them, but I never was a drinker.
Gotcha. Okay.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it is.
No, I think they're a big. They got like on Bourbon Street. I think it's a big mixed thing because each bar has like a mixed drink.
Right.
Yeah. Bourbon Street, they're big for hand grenades, and I'll tell you what.
What's a hand grenade, Alex?
Not the hand grenade is one of those drinks that don't taste like alcohol. It tastes like Kool-Aid.
It does.
Oh, okay.
And so it'll sneak up on you.
Gotcha.
Very much so. Yes. They will. You'll see I forget the name of the bar. I think it's called Tiki Bar or something simple like that. And they hand out brochures, and you see them all over Bourbon Street. And it says like 1, you're feeling good. 2, you're going to have the best time ever. 3, you're done.
So I'm not a drinker. I had a story one time. I was with a woman downtown on Bourbon. We were doing the Mardi Gras thing, and I drunk one. I was like, nice. I got a second one, and I drunk one. I am not a drinker. And I looked at her. And said, "We need to get home quick because I'm feeling." And I have to be the one to drive because she don't drive.
Wow.
And that's no joke. That's how it works too. Because he's not joking. They taste like melon Kool-Aid, and they go down so smooth. And then you get about halfway through that second one, and it starts hitting you. And you're like, "Oh man!"
Then the grenade explodes.
Yep, that's exactly it. It's nuts. Crazy.
Yeah. So, you think the Jags are going to make that move and trade up? Because they're trying to aggressively trade up right now.
To what
who's
spot?
It for?
Well, if they're trading up, they're not trading up for Gianti. So I'm thinking they're on Abdul Carter, and that's who's calling Cleveland and the Giants. And
You said
Cleveland's
they trying
already
to move up
told
to get
Hunter
who?
they're taking him.
Oh,
Abdul
Travis
Carter.
Hunter?
Travis Hunter's already been told by the Browns that they're taking him.
Okay.
So I think the Jags are going to switch with the Giants and move up for some cost because they're trying to move up for somebody, and they could stay at 5 and take Gianti.
Right.
Because the
I don't
Giants
think he's
aren't
going.
gonna...
I don't think he's going in the top 10.
No, neither do I. But
Yeah.
everybody, I don't either. Like I can throw up Alex and mine's mock here that we did here the other morning, and I actually had the Jags moving up to take Abdul Carter, and that's what I think they're trying to do. So here's our mock.
Yep.
So I had the Jags trading up to take Abdul Carter, and then when they gained a late third round pick, and then they took Will Johnson at cornerback to fix their secondary up.
Okay. Are you trying to show a graphic?
No, I don't know who did that.
I did that.
Karen? Oh,
no,
okay.
I did that.
That graphic that's down there that you can call up is the NFL.com tracker. So when picks are coming in, we could show it.
Right. Somebody said, why only 6 watching and you got 3K subs? Let me bring that comment up. He says, why only 6 watching and you got 3K subs? Did you send out notifications? Yes, I did send out notifications. That's a good. My guys don't really watch a lot of the drafts, man. I'm mostly a fantasy football guy, so my volume comes in on fantasy football season. But my content is growing, so I think that's the main reason. The guys are not used to me actually doing a live draft. Because I've been here for about 4 years and I haven't did a live draft with the draft going on.
Yeah, this is just that it's a show, so it's a little bit different.
Right.
And tonight's a special show because we happen to have a draft night tonight, so we can do a round 1 live draft. Thought.
Yep.
Miracle League says first pick is Cam Ward. We know.
Yep.
I think we know that.
We think so.
Yeah.
I think the draft starts really at 3.
Right.
Well, I think it's a dual Carter. It's just a matter of do the Giants sit and take him, or do they trade back because that's really a position of strength for them. Gain some more picks and get a different position that they need. Like they need a defensive back guy really bad. So if they could swap with the Jags, that'd be perfect for them. They still got a top 10 pick, top 5 pick actually that they could make.
Right.
Yep.
So yeah, Ethan Carey says the first 4 are obviously Ward, Travis, Carter, and Will Johnson. Will Johnson, did y'all know Will Johnson was going to be drafted?
Oh yeah, he's going to go to the Patriots for sure.
Okay.
Be the left tackle for Drake
I was thinking Will Campbell, yeah, the tackle, not Will Johnson, the corner. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, for the Giants.
No, for the Patriots at 4.
Yeah. But I think
thinking,
either the Giants take Abdul Carter or they move back and they can take Will Johnson at 5 if they switch with the Jags is what I was saying.
Yep.
Ethan says pre-draft, I think Jackson Dart will go to the Saints and Shedeur go to the Steelers. I do think Shedeur might go to the Steelers.
I hope he does.
Yeah.
That's where we actually had a mock to the Steelers there. You can see at the bottom. Because that's the first spot I see him going. The Saints haven't picked the first round quarterback since 1971 when they took Arch Manning, the grandfather.
Wow.
So they're not going quarterback in the first round.
Which says you should tank and take Arch next year when he comes out.
Yeah. That's what might be the plan. Let's just not get a quarterback this year. Let's get some other positions of need. And then when Arch is there, we'll just tank for Arch.
Yeah, just let Spencer Rattler play too.
That sounds like too smart of a plan for the Saints.
It does, though, doesn't it? Yep. That's something I've brought up quite a few times, Terrence, is how Mickey Loomis seems to always think the Saints are in a Super Bowl window, and they haven't had that since even the last year of Drew Brees.
So who you hoping the Saints take, Terrence?
I don't care. until they get their foundation of a quarterback and line together, I don't care. I don't even care.
Yep.
So you want them to go offensive line
retired too?
I will want you to go after the line, get the line together, get your quarterback, build the foundation. I don't know what they was doing when they traded all that just to get Olave. He ain't Kelvin Johnson. What we doing?
Yep, that was the same thought I had, even before they picked Olave when they traded all those picks. Because that next draft class was supposed to be even better, and he gave up all those picks and then drafted Olave, and I was like, okay, Olave's good, and I like him, but like, Derek Carr's your quarterback. What are we doing? What are we doing here?
Yeah, and they still don't know if he's going to be ready for week 1 or not either, because he might still need surgery. They're still trying to figure that out. So I do think they go quarterback probably with their second round pick, but I don't think they're taking one in the first.
It's going to be between the Steelers and the Saints to take Shador. It's going to be a fight. Whoever move up and get him.
Oh no, I think he just falls to the
Saints
Steelers.
already there.
You think so? I think somebody if they wait too long, somebody will move up and snipe him.
Who knows? Shador, it's hard to tell with him because he bombed a lot of interviews because there's a lot of organizations he doesn't want to play for. Yep. So there's some GMs out there that have said that no, he's not even on our board. There is one scout this week that came out and said he was the worst interview I've ever had or seen in my life, and he's not even that talented to even be drafted in this draft, let alone signed as an unfree agent. He should be in the UFL. So it's like what teams need to trade up for him because they liked him because he interviewed well for them. It's like, where are they located? And I think the Steelers can sit there and let them fall right into their lap.
Right. Let me see something. Let me look. I had something here. Let's see.
But I'm hoping the Niners take Jahari Barron, but I know they're not gonna. They're gonna take defensive line there.
Yeah. On the 49er note, what do you think about Kittle sitting out voluntary stuff?
He's a veteran.
Yeah, he's 30 years old, 31 years old. I don't want him there for that. No, don't even risk it. Who cares? Right. The important thing is Brock Purdy showed up. No contract. Brock Purdy's there.
That's true.
That's the important part.
So do you think they go the typical 49er route in signing him and making him wait till last minute and really press, or do they just pay him?
Oh, no. They'll make him wait. He'll have to threaten a trade, and then they'll pay him.
So dumb. So dumb.
My freaking phone.
Don't think the Rams couldn't move up to go get Shador.
Do you think they do that with Stafford, though?
Yeah.
Especially when they're just reworking the contract?
Yeah. Because that's going to be your guy. And kind of like a Michael Penix situation with Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. Did you like that call, by the way? Speaking of drafts last year?
No, I didn't.
Yep.
No, I didn't like it. I didn't understand it. You still shouldn't have got Kirk Cousins.
If you were going to take a quarterback at 8, then yeah, I agree. Why are you signing Kirk Cousins?
I agree with that. Go get somebody like a Sam Darnold, I would say, and then bring that. I'm not paying nobody $180 million and then bringing a rookie behind them. Now you can't play Kirk Cousins again.
Nope, sure can't. And then that whole they're saying they're totally fine with him being a backup. No, you're not. You're lying through your teeth.
Kirk Cousins didn't come there to be no backup.
No, he didn't. And what happens if Penix struggles week 2? You're going to start hearing, well, you're paying Kirk, put him in there.
Right.
Nope, can't do it.
Or you can't make that move, and Penix has to play the whole season out. You can't bench a rookie. I mean, your second-year player that you took as a top 5 pick.
Yep.
No, you can't. Not now. Not when you've already said that he's your guy. You got to friggin' go through those bumps and bruises, right? But yeah, I didn't really hate the pick at the time. I was like, okay, I get it, because Arthur Smith was like, I'm never being in a situation again where I don't have a quarterback. So we're going to go out and we're going to sign one and we're going to draft one. It's like, okay, well, you're not really helping Cousins, but whatever. And it ended up working out for them. But if Cousins was injured, did he really get a fair shot? But he didn't even tell them that he was injured. Yeah. So how much of a leash did he really have if he didn't feel safe to tell him he was feeling injured on his shoulder to even get that looked at? He was already worried about his job because they did take Penix that high.
Competition anxiety is okay, but that's too much. Like, your quarterbacks need to feel like I'm the guy. Like, why would you bring in I know this is kind of crazy, but like if you had Pat Mahomes, why would you bring in like a young quarterback? Like I don't get that. I know Pat Mahomes is different than
Right.
Kirk Cousins, but you don't bring in guys. You let these guys know that they are the guy. If that way they can work on their game. If they worried about the competition at this point, I don't think it serves them well. Now, if somebody's been playing bad for a couple years, yeah, you have to push the competition. But this is first year he got signed to y'all, and y'all want to bring in a rookie in the top 10. I just thought that was a little bit too much, but it worked out. It is what it is.
Well, and especially when they didn't tell him about it either, like when
Right.
they were going to sign him. Like, what are you doing? Just
Yeah, well, maybe the Steelers will end up with him cheap if they miss out on Shador. That'll be what will happen, right? Somebody will miss out on a quarterback they liked, and then they'll trade for Cousins.
yeah, I think that's what Cousins and Aaron Rodgers, for that matter, are also waiting on. Is just okay. Which team misses out on quarterback? We can now pick and choose because they don't want to end up in a situation like Kirk Cousins where you sign, and then all of a sudden they're drafting a young guy, and now you're in a competition you didn't know you were in.
Yeah, I think we'll see Aaron Rodgers end up retired. Because I don't know if he still goes to the Steelers if they end up with Shador. Do you?
I honestly have no idea. I mean, from day one, I've been on the I will address the Rodgers situation when and if he signs. Like I wasn't.
Yeah, I think Rodgers is waiting after the draft. He don't want nobody. Rodgers is crazy, man. He like, you ain't drafting no damn rookie behind me.
Oh
So
yeah.
I'm gonna wait for y'all draft, and then I'm gonna come get on the team. That dude crazy, and I don't mean that in a bad way. He's just super damn competitive.
Yeah, he knows what he likes and what he wants too. So
Yeah. Are you ready to get Tet McKinnon as a Cowboy?
Hell no.
no.
Well, I don't know who our first round pick is gonna be. As far as a wide receiver, I don't know if we trade back. I don't know if we trade for Tyreek Hill or something. But I do think we need to get the 460-pound defensive lineman. That is my guy for this draft for the Cowboys.
Who's that?
Yeah, so it's the guy from Florida. He's 460 pounds.
That is a
that
boy.
big ass guy.
They're big, yeah. And I think he's going. We need that to keep the offensive lineman off our linebackers. We've been one of the weakest team against the run in the whole NFL.
What did he run that
That's
40 at on his pro day?
Like a 5'8", right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's pretty
like
damn good. 460 pounds.
471 pounds.
That's equivalent to like a 4'2", 4'3", at 210 pounds.
Yeah, that's nuts. I mean, that.
Hey,
imagine if that
Terrence,
dude hit you full speed.
Your mic, Terrence?
Imagine that dude at 460 running that fast, hitting you full speed. I would straight up die.
No, that dude's not hitting me full speed. I'm not gonna let that dude hit me full speed.
I wonder if they'll call him the new fridge.
Right.
I don't know. He's bigger than a fridge. What's bigger than a fridge?
Yeah, he carried the ball in Florida.
Did that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's what I mean. The fridge is coming back.
Right.
I'm just trying to figure out my TV thing. It keeps kicking out.
So what's going on in the draft? What they saying?
I don't know. My TV stopped working on my phone here, so I've been trying to get it back up. Maybe we might need to call up this so we know what's. They still haven't even started the draft, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Are they doing 8:20? I thought it was 8:15.
Yeah, I'm hoping the Niners get that cornerback from Texas, man. We've got enough linemen that friggin' if you're not developing them, what are you doing wrong?
Right.
Like Drake Jackson should be ready. A couple of other guys that they've drafted over the years. And then they never really addressed the cornerback situation. We lost Cam Ward too, so it'd be great to get Jahir Barehand.
Jaddy Barron. What do you guys think about all the stories coming out about the Browns see Travis Hunter as a receiver? Period.
I've been drafting him in best ball just to make sure, but
Yeah.
guys, he's still gonna play corner because he will force his way out of Cleveland. They don't want that. So what they telling you, he's gonna be that dynamic number 2 wide receiver weapon. Now Tillman and not Elijah Moore, but the other guy, maybe a Moore, they're gonna be like the guy in there mostly. But when it comes to a big play, I can see Hunter probably getting 60 yards a game receiving and playing corner and maybe having 3 or 4 picks and just coming up in big spots on defense and offense. I don't think he's going to be no straight wide receiver. He's not going to be no straight corner because if he does, you don't give him the opportunity, he will go to the media and say, I don't want to play for this franchise. You don't want to have that as a rookie. So you got to give him the opportunity. If he starts getting beat on defense or struggling on offense, he'll make the adjustment. But you're not going to be able to do that from the beginning with him. He's going to go to the media and he's not going to want to play for your franchise. So they probably already told him he could play corner.
He's already said that in the media too. Don't draft me unless you intend on playing me both ways full time.
That's why I said that. Right. But I agree. What I think you're trying to say, Adam, they're gonna use this guy a lot on the offensive side, probably more than anybody thinks.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at, is that the Browns actually think he's a better receiver than corner, so you might see more offensive snaps. And what's interesting too with the Browns fit is that they already have 3 good corners in Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome II, and is it Emerson? I forget his first name.
Jags just traded to the number 2 pick.
What?
Number 2?
Number 2?
Nice. Who are they taking? Abdul Carter.
Travis Hunter.
You think?
You got to get Travis Hunter there.
Yeah. Jacksonville State. They would have watched him a lot. Saw how he grew.
What?
What would you move with the number 2? You already got a quarterback. You're not taking a quarterback there.
Abdul
Unless
Carter.
they can pull a Michael Penix and Kirk Cousins, so they're not taking Shadur Sanders or nobody. So what's the best? Oh, you know what, guys? They taking the defensive player. They're not taking Travis Hunter, is they? They're gonna take They're gonna take the linebacker from Penn State, ain't they? Because they need a pass rusher.
Yeah, Abdul Carter.
They taking a dual Carter there. I don't know. What do y'all think?
That's what I think. But it's interesting that it's the Browns because the Browns are now dropping to 5. Does that mean they're passing on Hunter now?
Yep.
What was the haul? I want to know what the haul was. It had to be big.
You got the trade there, Terry? Or
no, I don't. Let me look it up.
I know my phone's blowing up, but me trying to look at my phone is not going to work because then you guys are going to hear all that too.
Yeah, I'm just fixing up the ticker here.
Holy crap. Did not see that coming.
No, I thought they would have traded with the Giants. So now that means the Giants are going to end up with Travis Hunter.
Maybe.
Or somebody might try to get Shadur and Travis Hunter. I'm reaching a little bit.
That's what I thought what might have happened.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking too, especially with who's it, Minnesota at 24. They only have 4 picks, so that's a prime trade back spot. And I believe
the trade details: Jaguars get the number 2 overall pick, a 4th rounder, which is the 104, and a 6th rounder, which is the 200 pick. Browns get the 5th overall pick, a 2nd rounder pick, the 2nd round pick, which is the 36th pick, a 4th round pick, which is the 126, and a 2026 first round pick.
Oh, nice.
Nice haul. They're definitely getting Abdul Carter.
Well, and that 36 pick is nice too because the Browns also have 33. So if they really want to, they could package 33 and 36 to move back into the end of the first and get their quarterback they want there. Or start stockpiling 26 picks.
Go ahead and get Hunter, pair with Brian Thomas.
You think that's the pick? Because the Jags could use that too.
Wouldn't surprise me. They need another on wide receiver.
They do, for sure. Especially they just sent Christian Kirk out the door. Not that he was.
Yeah, but they brought in Dommy Brown.
That's going to stop you from drafting Travis Hunter.
No, I'm drafting Travis Hunter. I don't want to see Maximus or you, Alex, draft him in any of my leagues.
Oh, that's what I was gonna tell you, but I never did text y'all because when y'all was talking about, man, get one of these open teams, I would be like, look,
Yeah.
if any of the teams got a 1-on-1 pick, I'll take it, just so I could draft Travis Hunter.
I've been trying to get him into a league for how long? About 4 years. Every time I hit you up, every year it's a new one. Hey man, I don't do IDP. Well, I thought about it this year, man, but I got too many leagues. Man, I can't do it this year, bro. I'm sorry. Hey, every year I hit him up, ask him to get in the league.
I gotta have a reason. I gotta have a reason to do IDP.
You scared?
I'm in a couple IDP leagues in redraft, but that's what I said. I don't have to keep it long term. Get rid of it.
I'm a dynasty type of guy. I like it. I like the long-term game.
Yep.
Really, you can run that same mentality in a dynasty IDP.
Absolutely. Just run your IDP as redraft guys.
Yeah. Everybody's always dropping guys that are still can produce.
Relevant.
My phone is pissing me off.
Sounds about right. So do we have a Cam Ward official selection yet?
Yeah.
Are they even on the clock? Okay.
We got the Jaguars on the clock right now.
Jags moved up and get Travis Hunter. They took Travis Hunter.
They did?
I told you.
Yep.
You did. Wow.
Then he gonna play corner, guy. He definitely gonna play corner.
Yes, he is.
Because, bro, they didn't have no room. I heard this. They didn't really have room for him to play corner on the Browns like that. Was it? I think on the Browns.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
They was set on cornerback.
The Browns made a good decision, man. I'm proud of the Browns. They got more picks.
That's a phrase you don't hear very often.
Right. I actually think, and I actually want to say that a lot of people don't agree with this. I think the Browns made an excellent move when they got Deshaun Watson.
Well, the theory, you mean in theory?
Yeah,
I guess you can say theory. I don't look at it that way. You getting the words right with it, but I don't care. To me, I'm a Cowboy fan, and I go back to in the 90s. Scared money don't make no money. So
that's true.
So if I go out here and invest in a business with $10,000 and it fall off in 2 weeks, I don't give a damn. But you think I'm gonna make some money if I never invest?
You're right. They took a swing.
I took a swing. When have they ever took a swing on a player like Deshaun Watson? They hadn't did that shit in what? They hadn't maybe since Bernie Kosar.
You could argue.
They probably should have did an investigation first, a thorough investigation.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
No, I don't think they did an investigation. I don't care about what happened with the witch hunt. And I say that to all due respect. I don't know really what happened. So if he did do anything bad, yeah, that's terrible. But as far as the witch hunt, because there was a lot of people that their lawsuit got threw out. I think what happened is Deshaun Watson couldn't perform. They stuck by him through all the allegations. I don't think the allegations, they should do more due diligence for the allegations. Y'all forgive me here, but do y'all believe that he actually did the things that they accused him of doing?
I think there was enough evidence.
Only reason I would tell you I believe it, because I sat there and read each one of them people cases they filed.
Okay.
And in the stories, unless they got together, them stories start seeming real similar. And
what did he
none
do?
of them was exactly the same, but it seemed real similar.
What was the common denominator? Tell me what you're talking about. What was the common denominator? The
common denominator was, one, he would never go to an actual masseuse to get a massage. He'll try to get an esthetician to do a massage for him. And most of them be like, I don't really do that. That's not my specialty. I can get somebody for it. No, I want you to do it. And guess what? To try to keep your clientele, you go try to do whatever. And of course, he go just throw whatever money or whatever. But that was one of them. And the second one, he would try some weird stuff while they're giving a massage. He'll get a towel that's too small.
Okay. Right.
Try to contort his body to make sure they touch him in a certain way.
Okay.
Bro.
That's fair. I don't have nothing to rebuttal that's fair.
Mm.
Maybe they should have did a little bit more due diligence in that. But excuse me, guys, I have a Dallas Cowboy mentality from the 90s. So I don't, it's hard for me to be like, well, why shouldn't he be playing football? But forgive me, I'm not trying to say because if he did anything that if he actually forced anybody, I'm just me making a weird hit on a girl is different, and you do need to pay for that because you should know better than that to be trying to show yourself to people. But I don't think they should fire him or he should never ever play football.
Yeah, I think there was just a
sucked.
whole
That's
lot
the
of
only
things with
problem. He
that.
sucked, though.
Yeah, there's that.
What'd you
too.
say, Alex?
I said that's the whole thing. Is like there was so much on both sides. Like
Right,
the way the whole thing was handled, the way that the cases all came out at once,
right.
and then there's so much we'll never actually know. We weren't in the room. But what we do know is that he cannot seem to play football anymore. So
Yeah.
the Browns have acknowledged that it was a mistake, whether it was or not. They took a shot. The shot didn't
Took the
work,
shot.
and they're moving on. So
Yeah, and that shot just telling your team that we here to win.
Yep, exactly.
Sometimes that's bigger than anything.
Yeah,
And
I think
more
maybe when they
allegations
told
came out after.
what's that defensive end guy's name there, Myles Garrett,
That was
who
Gary.
the quarterback was, it was probably the quarterback's going to be not Deshaun Watson.
Right.
And he's like, okay, I'm in. Sign me
All right,
up.
I'm in.
Oh, also, yeah, and we're gonna give you a $25 million raise.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Here's $45 million guaranteed for 2 years.
So are the Giants still on the clock, or you think they're trying to
Yes.
shop this thing hard?
Yeah, they kind of they probably shopped. But I think they going. If I was them, I would go get Shadur Sanders right now.
You think so? They just brought in two vets, though.
Or trade back and try to accrue some offensive linemen throughout this draft. But right now, what player are you going to pick that's going to change your franchise right now?
For the Giants?
For the Giants, right now.
Yeah, changing it right now.
Yeah.
Maybe Will Campbell.
He's
Offensive
an
tackle.
offensive lineman.
Yeah, tackle from
Is he
LSU.
great? Is he great? Because
yes.
if you pick him, he got to be great.
Oh, I think he is.
Okay.
Yes.
He's the number one offensive left tackle in this class. So
I seen the
Consensus,
offensive lineman, number one. What was that guy from Robert O'Galley from Iowa? There's been a couple guys that the number one pick that's failed at the offensive lineman.
Yeah, that was what was that? That Chiefs draft class when they took Eric Fisher 101?
Yeah, you remember that one?
Yep, sure do.
The pick is in.
Oh, man.
It's probably going to be Carter.
You think so?
They'd probably go Abdul Carter.
You got because they don't got no pass rusher. They gave up last year.
I know they don't need it, but he's the guy you pick with 3 because he's the 3rd best talent in this draft. Or you take Shador, but I don't think they like Shador. There's something there. I don't know. We'll see. Because this is one of the teams that could take him. They could use him, but then they just signed Winston and Wilson.
Yeah, that's why I don't think it's quarterback.
Yeah, what are you about to say, Alex? You don't think it's going to be Abdul Carter?
No, I think it is going to be Abdul Carter. My only thing is I think you should move back because they don't necessarily need that. That pass rush is going to be insane though between Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, and
Brian Burns is overrated. Alex, I'm sorry.
What? Oh man,
Brian Burns is awesome.
You think so? Look
at
the sack numbers. His sack numbers is not that great. I mean, I'm comparing them to the elites. I'm not talking about an average 10 sack guy.
Carter.
No, he's just below that elite.
Okay.
You said it was Abdul Carter, Terrence?
He'd be that next guy right after.
Okay.
But because he can produce like that, he's a defensive end 1 because there's not that many elites.
Right. How many sacks did he have with the Giants?
He didn't have many with the Giants, but I think he was hurt a bit too.
Okay.
And they were just crap as well. And the only place the Giants are solid is on that defensive line, which is why they shouldn't take them. But they're gonna because that's where the talent is. And
not gonna. They did. They did.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They took who?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Abdul Carter.
They took Carter?
Abdul Carter.
Okay.
See, the thing that you can make the argument as to why that is the right pick too, though, is because if you have an elite pass rush, you actually help out your secondary because they don't have to hold up as much. So maybe that's the route they're thinking is we have 3 studs to rush the passer now, and we
Right.
can line them up however we want.
I wouldn't have took Dual Carter better be a 12 sack rookie guy. Other than that, you fail.
I think he could be that.
Christ's sake.
Yeah, he should be, especially on that line now.
But he's too light. Like Michael Parsons is not a pass rusher. He's a pass rusher on third down. He cannot play the run at the defensive end position.
I think that's the difference, though. Abdul Carter can some.
You think he can? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That may be fair. Because he about 10 pounds bigger than Michael, right? Michael like 240.
Abdul
like
Carter?
Yeah.
He's
He's
6'3", 250.
Yeah.
So he's a big guy. I expect
He
this
looks like
pick here
he
for,
looks like Parsons out there.
yeah, he kind of does a
Yes.
little bit with the same
I'm
number.
like, is he trying to act like Michael Parsons?
I expect this next pick to be Will Campbell here to protect Drake May.
It's got to be.
If it's not, then I don't know what the Patriots are doing. They might be on that Texans list where it's just like, we're not going to have an offensive line. Drake May, you just got figured out. Sorry, dude.
With this
So
move
who's on the
back, you don't
clock? Okay,
think
it's the
Cleveland
Patriots.
should pick Shador?
Yeah, this is Campbell. Yeah, this
They
is
could
Campbell
be.
all day.
Even though he probably bombed that interview, they probably scared as hell to pick him.
They going in there, man. What you call it? Gonna get fired this year? He think Russell Wilson gonna win him that division? Hell no.
Dable? No.
Yeah,
Brian
he's getting
Dable?
fired next year.
Well, they could still take them with their 6th pick or wherever they
No.
are. Oh, no, they're not.
No, Giants
That's
are out of
fucking-
the first now.
I was thinking Cleveland for some reason. Cleveland could still pick Shador.
They could at 5.
But the Giants going in there with Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston?
Yep.
I think so. Honestly, I think that's their plan. Because
And tank for Arch.
Thank for Arch,
Okay.
right?
I would love for the Saints to do that, but as we established, I don't think the Saints are going to do that.
Hold up. Y'all keep saying tank for Arch. I'm going to be honest with you. What I heard that, he is not coming out early. He's going to get his 30 starts. It's not coming out early.
Yeah, I don't think he does either, but you'll see teams do it just in case, right? And then somebody who has connections to him that can talk to him without having to talk to him, like the Giants and the Saints, it'd be easy to do to say, hey, we got the first overall pick. We're going to pay him. And we're going to take him. Tell him that if he comes
Hey,
out.
I don't
Archie,
care about money, though.
We having a retirement day with the Saints. Archie, come on up here.
Right?
Hey, by the way, tell your son we'll do this and this and this and this.
Yep.
Do we got who New England took yet?
Not yet. I don't see it.
There's the picks in.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what I got so far. It's got to be Will
Yeah.
Campbell.
It has to be. You have to protect Drake.
Yeah,
May.
you got it. It's got to be Will Campbell.
I mean, your
So what
offensive
do you-
line was so bad last year that you had to actually say out loud to the media, we cannot put him in there yet because you knew he was going to die.
Well, he had better chance of surviving than Jacoby Brissett.
Well, at least Drake make him run. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Jacoby
He's
used to be
it.
able to.
He's used to the bad line in North Carolina too. They didn't really have much of a line near the end. His team mostly
Yeah.
left after his first season. Do you think that moves Travis Hunter up on the rookie drafts, or
Yeah. He's gonna be a top
Yeah, I do
5
too.
pick now.
oh yeah,
Especially
for sure.
especially in my league with the IDP. I don't think people are
Oh,
gonna
he'll be the
doing-
101.
Yeah, I was thinking about I was either gonna trade back or take him at the 101. I'm thinking about trading back because I can get something. People gonna want to get Shador or Cam Ward.
You got a 101
Yeah.
pick yourself?
Yeah, I got a 101. I got 2 101 picks in 2 of my leagues.
Oh, man.
Will Campbell, Page. They said.
Yeah, I don't. Maxis
Yeah.
wants me to keep if you win the bracket. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't like it personally.
What'd you say?
I personally don't like it.
Yeah.
But
Did you say they took Will Campbell,
that's me.
Terrence?
That's what PFF tweeted out.
Okay.
Good pick.
Yeah. That's what I thought. This is where the draft gets interested now at 5.
Absolutely.
Who-
Because
Yeah.
holy crap. No,
What is
never
it?
mind. No, I was gonna say, is it no, I totally drew a brain fart and thought that maybe the Browns were gonna be able to move back and still get Abdul Carter, but no. That was the Giants being weird.
I thought you were about to say the Patriots drafted Shadur or something.
No, sorry.
It would make sense for the Cleveland, especially since Good been telling this big speech about go big or go home.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
That's how you play. That's how you win. Look at the Rams. They bought themselves a Super Bowl.
Sure did.
Well, and it didn't hit really rock bottom. They might have been in the top 10 pick, but they haven't hit rock bottom.
Who, the Browns?
No, the Rams.
No, they drafted really well on the defensive side for that defensive line. It is scary and it is young.
Yeah.
Well, the crazy part is since they
Raiders drafted the wrong guy.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Alex.
Since the Rams picked 101 and got Jared Goff, since then when they traded him, they didn't have first round picks for a while, and they kept hitting on all their late round picks. And then they just kept doing that, and then they hit on their recent draft classes too, and that's how they continue to stay good.
Right.
And they lost Aaron Donald, and that defense is scary, and it's young.
And I do think Terry's right too that the Rams are a dark horse to move up to get Shador if he falls a bit, because they already let Stafford go around, see what he could do, test the market, knowing it wasn't out there. In their minds, they're already starting to move on.
Yeah, if Stafford goes down, Shador going to be ready. And look what he's going to learn. I mean, you get Shador Sanders with Sean McVay, that's money. Like that's the gas. That's why you move up to go get him.
I think he
like
does well.
Deshaun Watson get him. You know, Deshaun Watson and Pat Mahomes got picked after pick 10. They wasn't top 10 picks.
Yeah,
but it was the team that moved up and got him. He got to learn behind
Mahomes was 11, right?
Oh, this is a new camera angle.
After left tackle, I think they just got Will. I think I heard a tweet. I think I saw a tweet.
Do you think the Browns win offensive line? That wouldn't be a bad pick either.
Kevin Stefanski is really good at offensive line. They could get like second and third round picks at this point in time. They need to get some skilled players.
So where do you think they go here then? You think it is Shador?
No.
Too early for Tet, right?
Yeah, way too early.
So then
but
we're looking
the
at
Browns we're talking about.
Receiver.
Maybe they trade back. I don't know.
The damn quarterback. What's
They're
the point
probably trying, but who's going to trade up?
You're right, Terrence.
They'd probably take Jalen Milroe and Browns it up.
At 5.
Second round.
Pull some Anthony Richardson stuff right there.
Right.
Well, he should never have gotten the first friggin' top 10 of any draft. Like
top 10, he was top 5. He went 4.
I get it though. If you trust your coach, I'll make a move like that. I'll make a move. If Andy Reid says, "Hey man, that quarterback right there, I can make him great," I might, as a GM, I might make that move and draft a guy real early just because Andy Reid said he think he can turn him into somebody special.
I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with you making a move, then you give up on a move quicker than
I know, right? I agree with you 100%. That shit is ignorant. How you gonna draft a project and give up on it within 6 or 7 games?
Cultivate the talent.
Yep.
If you go invest,
they gave up on make it so bad. They gave up on Jalen Hurts. Remember they benched Jalen Hurts his second year in the league?
Sure did. That was dumb too.
That was the dumbest shit. I'm like, you gonna bench him? Why? What are you doing? Like, he's playing well. Or he doesn't know how to read the defense.
The pick is in for the Browns.
Who?
I don't know who it is, but it says the pick is in.
Yeah, it was Campbell. Campbell got picked at pick 4.
Yep, to the Patriots.
But the Cleveland got their pick in too.
So this was fast. So it might be Shador since it was so fast.
Might be. It's because it was pretty
You
quick.
don't want to go to no damn Cleveland.
Or they already knew who they wanted.
Right.
And knew that they could get him at 5.
And
Like,
don't think
did they
these
go
guys can't trade these players when they pick them.
Like, I
No,
wouldn't
you
be
know,
surprised if it's Jalen Walker either. Put him behind Myles Garrett, and good luck stopping those two guys coming in on the same side.
Come on now.
right. They've been looking for a linebacker too. Terry, we were talking about quarterbacks that got benched for a performance. One quarterback that did also happen to was Bryce Young last year, and that seemed to work out for him at least.
It worked out for him. It was the right move. Everybody, listen. One thing I learned about my Dallas Cowboys, Jimmy Johnson said, one thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna treat everybody fairly, unfairly.
Mm-hmm.
Like basically, everybody's gonna be different. I'm not gonna just because I did this with this guy doesn't mean I'm gonna do it with you. If Michael
Exactly.
comes late, doesn't mean that you can come late. So if they benching Bryce Young worked, but benching other guys, I thought it was terrible. But it worked with Bryce Young. He's ready to go, man. I love Bryce Young this year. He looks better than CJ Stroud. Am I crazy? Am I caught in the moment?
Maybe a little.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just I don't know because the Texans dismantled their whole line, and we got to see what they do with this draft to see where CJ Stroud's going to land. But right now, he doesn't really have a full line.
Yeah, that's the thing that I was going to say too, is that at least Bryce Young's offensive line seemed to be making improvements as the year went on. That's something that Dave Canales seems to be working well, is figuring out how to work with what he has. And I think that's another reason that the benching worked out for Bryce Young, because it was Canales' idea. He's like, man, I got to bench this kid. He needs to learn, and I need time with him to learn.
And he handled it right, though, right? Like he brought Bryce in and said, look, this isn't the end. I'm not saying you're done, but I need you to see how Andy Dalton does it, how a professional goes. Maybe I threw you in. That's my fault. You know what I mean? He took the blame on himself, and it was like, just take this opportunity and learn. Put your head down and learn. And that's what Bryce put his head down. He didn't complain. You didn't see him bitch on the media. He just put his head down and worked. And then when the time was right, because like Andy Dalton was still playing fairly okay, like he was like fairly steady, like Andy Dalton, but they still went and put Bryce Young in because they had the confidence back in him. It was like, okay, now's the time. And he came out and he started proving it.
Right. Facts.
Yep. And then for me too, the thing with that change, comparing him to CJ Stroud, is the fact that with CJ Stroud, if they don't put a better offensive line on the field than they had last year, I'm genuinely concerned about CJ Stroud, because they seem to think that he doesn't necessarily need an offensive line. And if that's the case, he's going to be running for his life, and then he's going to start playing hero ball, and that's not good for anything.
Yeah, exactly. And that's in CJ Stroud's mentality to play hero ball too a little bit, but he's still smart enough where he'll take the check down while running around and doing stuff. You seen who the Browns have taken yet, Terrence?
No, I haven't got any information yet.
No. Yeah, I wonder if it is Shador.
Taking their whole 10 minutes.
Oh, they must. Are they at commercial break or something? My phone's blowing up. Somebody knows.
My TV app on my phone stopped working, so I've been relying on the NFL and Twitter and stuff.
Nice.
See if it's worked now, because I'd rather have it on the TV. Do you think they go Will Johnson here, Alex?
I don't think they need corner. That's the whole reason I think they moved back and didn't take Hunter. It would
their pick is in. They've selected somebody. So if they don't
Mason
corner,
Graham.
Who is
that
it?
would be a Browns move. Yes.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, Mason Graham. So is that actually the pick?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, yeah, that totally makes sense for the Browns. That's what they do. Keep building defensive line. Even though they don't need it, keep doing it.
Raiders, all right. Raiders. We gonna see what the Raiders do.
All right, my TV's working again.
What y'all think Ashley Genty gonna be picked at?
Maybe pick 15, 16.
Yeah, I think he's in that 10 to 20 range is what I was thinking.
I
And
think
the Bears are
Broncos.
10, so it could be the Bears at 10.
Yeah, that feels about right. That would make sense because I don't see why the Raiders would feel like they need to draft a running back.
Yeah, especially with the way.
So they was ready.
All right, so is it offensive line? Get Pete Carroll that run blocker that he wants?
I think it's Membu here. Armand Membu out of Missouri. Because that'd be a guy that Pete Carroll can pull off the line and like pull him to get out in front of that run block and on those
he's
wide
real
zone
athletic.
teams like run. Yeah. Like there's just so many backs that it's just going to push Gianti down these boards.
Ashton Gianti. Wow.
Whoa, they did it.
Wow, they did it.
Okay.
Whoa.
That's what PFF's tweeted. So we'll see.
Huh. Well,
see.
That's one that we heard.
He better be like that.
That's one that we heard early that I didn't believe. I'm like, no, that doesn't.
No,
doesn't make sense.
Look, if Pete Carroll wasn't there, I wouldn't have believed it myself. But Pete Carroll, I don't. He need his running back.
I guess they made it okay to take running backs in the first. Now Pete Carroll gonna go and just do what he do.
Pete Carroll gonna do what he do. He might even. Well, didn't we talk about this, Sean? I said Pete Carroll might grab 2 of your running backs. He might get on Quentin Junkins in the second round. Don't trust Pete Carroll.
You are not.
Yeah, that's probably one of the worst.
He's probably gonna get Junkins second round. Jukins.
Yep, I could see that for sure. Oh man, wow! I did not think that was gonna happen. All right, so now we got the Jets on the clock, right?
How long are we going live tonight, guys? Are we gonna do the whole 30 picks?
I'm down. It's up to you guys. I'm here as long as you want me.
I'm down. I'm here. What about you, Terry?
I might take a bathroom break or so.
Oh yeah, we figure we'll cycle through.
We said that at the start of the show that some of us would be in and out at times because we're 4 hours going to need breaks. I'm going to want to go out and smoke a J here in a little bit.
I guess all I say, guys, I can't wait. It would be nice if I lived in Canada. That's all I'm gonna say right now.
What you just said?
I stay in North Carolina, and I have a really good job. You know.
Oh, so you don't even partake?
Nah. I'm a job guy.
Well, you got a good job, so that's a good thing too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So Jets go offensive line here, right?
I don't know. Amari Hampton.
Just ruin everything.
Hey, are you taking Ginty with the one-on-one now? I think Ginty is a good one-on-one pick if you need an offensive player, right? I'm taking Ginty over Hunter. So. I'm not going to rely on Hunter to get 1,000 yards for me in far as like fantasy.
Genty's in the standard leagues that's not IDP. I think he's your 1.01. I think the only one that could challenge him for 1.01 is one guy, but that's an IDP. You're not gonna be able to keep that secret, man. It's too long. Trust me, I'm shooting myself in the foot talking about it too. So
right.
So I'm in there. It happens.
Well, I know there's some platforms already saying that you're not going to be able to get both points. Like, why?
No, well, Sleeper will.
Yeah, I think MFL will too.
I can't stand that, man. When Taysom Hill was at tight end, they should have let him continue to play tight end and quarterback.
Yeah, that was weird. You shouldn't be changing eligibility in the season. Like, you shouldn't take it away. You can add it if they start playing a new position, but not take it.
Don't take it away. Nope.
Yeah. With that Taysom Hill?
Yeah.
That was just ridiculous all the time, changing him around and all that.
Yep. That's what we were talking about.
And then they changed it where you could have still had him in quarterback, but they wouldn't. ESPN they wasn't gonna let you make any waiver wire ads. And I'm like, I'm getting ready to go to the playoffs. I'm gonna have to take him out, man, because I wasn't gonna take him out.
Right. I don't blame you. But at that point, you have any injuries or some guys like questionable? Yeah, done.
Right.
Yeah. Where do you think that puts Mason Graham for IDP? 3rd round? Fourth round
probably for me. I don't know, man. In our drafts, I don't know. It depends on what, because it's a lot of running backs that people are going to be taking. So he probably might have to be at the end of the third round, beginning of the fourth round.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, somewhere around there.
A dual
that
Carter
might
won't
even
be
be a bit
drafted in the
early.
first round.
You think so? First round?
No, a dual Carter won't. A dual Carter might go at the end of the second round.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's too many good offensive fantasy stars in this class that it's just going to push good defensive guys down. So if you got a lot of back end picks in an IDP league, like, you could really change your IDP team around if you're struggling.
Oh,
Really
absolutely.
I'm gonna give up the sauce right here. I believe if you got a top 5 pick, you don't need a quarterback. You need running back depth. I would trade back, and try to pick as many as running backs as I could, like in the mid-second round and on through, to get guys like Travion Henderson, Jukins. If I could get 3 or 4 of those guys, somebody gonna hit.
Oh yeah, well, I got
instead of just taking Genty by himself, I'd rather trade back and get 3 or 4 really, really talented running backs with good opportunities.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I've got one league. I've got the 1.4, and I've got 11 picks in the top 24, and I'm like, I'm going all running back. Don't care.
Yeah,
I tell you guys that right now. I'm
going
all running back. I don't care who's out there. There's only one wide receiver I really like in this class. The rest is just kind of like an okay to me. Like they'll be decent, but they're, YR2, YR3. There's no really YR1.
I agree.
Emeka Buga to me, so he's my one
guy.
So
guys, I'm sitting here thinking about this, and we kept hearing all these Genty rumors, right? That all these teams were going to trade up, and the Jags were thinking about it at 5, and all these teams are trying to move up for Genty. Genty's going to move up. He's going to move up. He's going to move up. And I remember one of the first mock drafts I saw was Genty to the Raiders at 6. Like, that was one of the first ones, and then all that news comes out about trading up. No, it's all bullshit.
Right.
I didn't hear none of that trade up news. I didn't hear
No?
none of it.
Oh man.
I heard, Genty going to other spots. I never heard anyone trading up to try to get Genty.
Oh yeah. That was one I kept getting.
I wonder where Omiri Hampton goes.
Broncos.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say.
We could pull up Gianti's stats here too.
If they didn't take Ingram, if they didn't get Ingram, I would bet on Tyler Warren going there, but it might be Omari Hampton on the spot.
Guys, after this pick, I want to talk about the Shannon Sharp issue. I want to hear what y'all got to say about the Shannon Sharp issue.
What is that? Because I'm not really even fully aware. I saw his apology video, but I don't know what the original thing was.
And hopefully we can get some of these shorts when we talk about it and get it out like we did last week, because I think that's going to be a really good topic for us to hit the algorithm. But it basically, man, he's been having a relationship with a girl that was on only I don't want to say the word, y'all know, OF, because that's a flag word. And everything supposedly was consensual, but at certain times they were doing a lot of BDSM talk, and she got him caught up saying, I'm gonna choke you. And then she actually called him, is like, why did you take your private area and force it into my back end? I don't like that. No means no. And he's like, can I call you back later? What you talking about? Let me call you back later. And then when they was talking on the phone, she recorded it, and she got him telling him like, you forced me to do this. And he's like, what? He said, next time I see him, I'm gonna choke your ass out. And so he looks bad. Like, she got him recorded.
So it could have been a lot of entrapment going on there.
A lot of entrapment. And then also, what the game is. You got to be careful. I'm not saying he did it or he whatever, but if somebody says, hey, you forced me to do something, it's like, what are you talking about? I don't have no clue what you're talking about. What did I force you to do?
Right.
I'm not going to be like, can I call you back later? Like, I don't know. It just looks bad. So I believe it's entrapment. But what can you say when you have evidence like that and somebody's been like calculating you throughout your relationship?
I thought he was smarter than that. He didn't lost so many cool points. He ain't the brightest crown in the book, because as a celebrity, you're supposed to move certain ways. You should know not much talking on the phone. We ain't gonna talk about no real issues over the phone.
Come on now.
You ain't gonna do none of that. Like it just ways to move you, and especially if you're dealing with a young girl, you dealing with a young woman. They are all about that recording. If you was dealing with somebody his age, probably wouldn't have to worry about that. But no, even though he claimed, I heard him claim before, Megan Thee Stallion, she's too young for me. But we
you look
realize
bad.
no,
He looked bad.
She too dark for you. She too dark for you, probably. You know, so and man, I just don't know what to say about Shannon Sharp. He a fool. That's all I can say. He's going viral many times for the wrong reasons. So,
well, and isn't that kind of his thing too with his show that he had with Skip, Undisputed, right? Like that was their thing, was say the most ridiculous thing to get a rise out of people, and that was how they got there. So that's kind of his thing. And then now that's happening in his personal life. Like, man, the truth will come out, maybe. But either way, it doesn't look good. Either way.
Needs to take a page out of Steve Smith's page. You don't hear anything about that anymore. You just heard the original news, and that was it.
No.
He never sent an apology. He didn't do nothing. He wouldn't even apologize to the guy who was friggin' asking him for an apology for banging his wife.
Nope.
No, he did apologize on the phone. They caught him with that. But after that, you didn't see nothing else. There was nothing else. He just did it. He acted like
his wife. You got it. Let's give a clap for his wife. We haven't heard anything from her.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
that's a good woman. I hope nobody don't take offense to what I'm saying, but that's a good woman right there.
Yeah, who knows what's going on behind doors?
Yep.
I think Steve Smith made about $50-60 million in his career. That's what's going on behind the closed doors.
No, but I mean, like, if they're even working on it, or they just have an arrangement to look.
$50-60 million. They working on it.
yeah, I know what you're saying, but who knows if
right.
there's arguments in the background is what I'm saying about it.
Right. Because even if you leave Steve Smith, right, and even if you leave Steve Smith and you take a lot of his money, he's about to go into a whole nother form of his career. You see what Shannon Sharp didn't make no $100 million on the field, but he went into a different area of his career where he's going to make $100 million. So if you leave now, you're only going to get what you can get now. If you stay the whole time, you will be set for life. Look at Kobe's Bryant wife. If she would have left Kobe at that time, she'd have had what? Maybe $5 million now. Now she's worth $1 billion.
To the Jets.
Who
went to the Jets?
Membu.
That's a good pick.
That's what I said. Oh no, that was Membu for the Raiders, is what I said. But
what do you mean? What position he plays?
Offensive tackle.
Line. Yeah.
Okay.
But he's the offensive lineman that ran that 4.59.
Is he nimble?
Oh yeah, nimble. He ran a 4.59, man.
Okay, like he's faster than most of the running backs in the class.
Yep.
Is he 270 pounds? Running a 4.5?
No, he's a big boy.
6'4", 332.
Yeah.
Shit, he need the Eagles. I mean, damn, this dude can get out. He need to be moving and pulling and shit. You might move him to guard.
Yeah, you know what though? He could be doing that in front of Justin Fields.
Right.
And Breece Hall with the Jets. That'd be a nice addition there.
But the Jets dropped the ball. Don't y'all know they had that? What is that really good offensive lineman that played for Philly this year? He came from the Jets and was mauling everybody. He moved from the right tackle to the guard. It was one of the best guards in the league.
He came from the Jets, Alex. We talked about him the other day.
Yeah.
Malachi Becton.
Yeah, Malachi Becton.
And he struggled with the Jets and goes to the Eagles and is an all-American guard.
Well, and that's what's
he
crazy.
Had help with him there. He was the only guy on the Jets.
Yeah.
Right.
So, Sean, if you remember when that happened, I was saying last year that the Jets should have went offensive line and moved Becton inside.
Yes.
And then the Eagles did that, and he was awesome.
They're not smart enough to do that. If they'd have moved him inside, he's probably still would have played bad for the Jets.
Probably.
Oh yeah, for sure. But they do a lot of the Jets things for the Jets.
Yep. Jets going Jets.
Jets.
Hey, they got themselves a good pick here, though.
In a long time, so you know they're setting their roots down now with what they're doing, right? He's building it the same way he did with Dan Campbell when Dan Campbell built the Lions. Let's start working on these lines.
Yep.
Carolina, they need a wide receiver, I would say. Or
you don't like Michael Wilson?
Look, they picked the wrong
Michael
wide receiver
Wilson?
every time.
They traded for Michael Wilson.
The Cardinals? Oh,
No,
Carolina.
no.
Never
No,
mind.
Carolina.
Yeah, they need a
They
wide
found a
receiver.
way to pick the wrong
They
wide receiver.
also need offensive line too, so they could go
Okay.
a guy like Kelvin Banks out of Texas or Donovan
Okay.
Jackson at Ohio State. Like, there's
Okay.
a lot of good offensive linemen, so it's a good draft to build your line and start protecting Bryce Young, right? Like
Right.
you went out and you got who's his name there, Leggett. You need somebody else, but they still have Adam Thielen there, so they'll still
Right.
play the slot. Do they still have Shark?
They might.
No,
I think he got an option.
No, he was with the Chargers last year. Carolina.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah,
You're right.
Carolina. And they traded Jonathan Mingo. They had Deontay Johnson. That experiment didn't work out very well.
It didn't work for anybody.
Nope. Sure didn't. And you know what? I don't think the Ravens even got a comp pick for that because he's still out there. Right?
No, he's with the Ravens, isn't he?
They picked him up, but he was going to be a free agent at the end of the season, and they picked him up in case he got signed, and nobody signed him.
No, I think he's done. Like, he's had so many chances. It's just like,
So, Sean, you said they should get a offensive lineman.
yeah,
So who would be next? Kevin Banks?
that's who I would have next on my list is Kelvin Banks. 6'5", 315. He's just a beast. Like, he's not as agile as Membu, but he's a guy you can just slap in there and he's going to protect your guy. So go out and get them, let them grow old together. I like that just as much as growing a wide receiver with them together. And like, there's so many different wide receivers. You can get a good wide receiver in the second round for Carolina because they pick high enough that you can get into that. Maybe Luther Burton falls down there. If not, you can get like the guy from Ohio there, Jaden Higgins.
From Iowa State.
Yeah.
I could see that. I could also see this pick being Jalen Walker. Start trying to build that defense. That linebacker position.
My second favorite wide receiver in this draft is going to be Joe Horn.
Yeah, from Colorado.
Yeah, come on. Let's go ahead and do a little bet, Terrence. Come on.
What bet you want to make? What bet you want to make? Did he go in the 5th round, 4th round? Or something?
Oh, right. What round did Antonio Brown go to?
The 6th.
He's not Antonio Brown.
Oh, you just gonna say that before he get out there, bro? You gonna say that
right now? I'm telling you right now. I seen enough.
What was Antonio Brown though? Was Antonio Brown nasty before he got out there?
I don't remember, but I'm telling you, I seen his profile. He don't got a chance.
Profile? What was Antonio Brown profile?
I don't remember because I wasn't doing profiles then. I'm telling you, this man don't got a chance.
Okay. Y'all remember this.
So what be good?
What does he have 0 badges?
Let's make sure we snip this, Maximus. This is gonna be good.
Hold up.
Let me go to this profile so I can make a good clip. Hold up.
Come on, go ahead. Let's go.
He's so far down my ranking. He's so far down on my ranking.
Are you done scrolling yet?
I'm not. Well,
I don't even know if he gets drafted, to be honest.
I strolled so far that I forgot his name. What's his name again?
Dude, we can play, man. Did you see him at the Senior Bowl?
Jimmy Horn.
Yeah, I said Joe Horn. My bad. Jimmy Horn. My bad.
Okay. So I did like his film. I take that back. But he is a man with no badges. Small hands, small frame. Yeah. I'm a pass.
Antonio Brown had small hands too.
He doesn't get a badge because his dad's a Hall of Famer.
No, it's not his dad.
No, that's not his dad.
Oh no,
I think it's his cousin though. I think they cousins or something.
I think so.
There's about 20 wide receivers I'll bet on before I am. I'll bet on Kyle Williams. I'll bet on Elijah Badger. There's a bunch of wide receivers I'll bet on before him.
Right. I would like to look at the wide receivers.
Ted McMillan.
Who?
So they did draft Ted McMillan.
What?
Ted. They needed a wide receiver.
To Carolina. Wow.
8 pick. Wow. They gave him that kind of draft capital. That's crazy work.
Sure did.
I don't think he worked.
Does that move him up your board, Terrence?
No.
No hesitation.
Around.
Look at it. And it's not like I don't think he's going to be good. I just think he's going to take time to develop. I don't think he's going to come out and ball. So if you don't get to draft him in your rookie drafts, don't even worry about it. Come back next year, trade for him. Believe me, he is not going to go crazy this season. You'll have time to come back and trade for him if you that big of a fan of Tech if you miss him. So.
Yeah, well, let's call up his stats because
Sean, I'm sure, has a lot to say about Tet.
if you go game by game, man, you see Tet McMillan here in 2024. He's got 1,019 yards. 850 of those yards came in 5 games against teams that were ranked under the top 100, and 5 of his touchdowns of his 8 were also in those games. So he didn't have as good a season as it looks, and I just personally think he's a trap.
I like him, but I don't love the Carolina landing spot. That's for sure. And
I love Bryce Young. Bryce Young, I think he's going to have a breakout season this year.
I agree.
With Tet added, you think?
Yeah,
or you thought
Tet,
he was going to have?
Is Tet going to be a top 12 or top 24 guy? No, I think he could be maybe a top 40 guy. I mean, I don't. It's not about Tet, but I do think he's a good wide receiver to draft in Dynasty to have on your roster.
Well, and if nothing else, you've got a 6'5", 210 receiver that you can target in the red zone.
Right. And you look at the receivers that they building for. It's kind of like they did with Cam, but hopefully these guys are a little bit better than Kevin Benjamin. But all these wide receivers are big guys. Look at you got Ted, you got Leggett, and Adam Thielen is like what 6'2", 6'3"?
Yeah, Thielen 6'2", 6'3".
Like I think it's 6'3".
Yep.
So he got somebody that he can actually see now. That's smart coaching. That's smart drafting.
That and
I
that's
guess
where
over the line.
That's what I was just gonna say. It's kind of hard for Bryce Young to see over the line, like drafting a guy that's 6'5", 320. You got a quarterback that's 5'10", 5'11".
So you want short offensive lineman for him.
I also wonder too.
What'd you say?
Did you know your camera's off?
Yes, I cut it off. I'm doing something.
Okay, I just wasn't sure. What were you gonna say, Alex?
Yeah, that it makes me wonder too with the Tet landing spot in Carolina. Did they look at that with the Bengals taking Jamar Chase at 5 and what Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase did and go, okay, well, maybe we could just add a receiver that's going to improve our offensive line in that way. Where if you got a receiver that can get open faster, your offensive line doesn't have to block as long. But I think when we
priority on getting Bryce another weapon, because like last year, every single pick in the draft they made on offense, right? So maybe they just don't feel like they're done yet, and it doesn't match what they see on defense.
I mean, that's fair, and I think their defense is one that, to me, has always seemed to play a little better than we expected. Aside from against the run, that was one that they didn't really seem to be able to stop the run very well.
Yeah, pretty much. So who we got here next on the clock?
Saints.
9.
Saints at 9.
Yep. So they could go Shador, but I don't think they do because, like I said, they haven't taken a quarterback in the first round since 1971. Right. So I don't see them changing.
Kelvin Banks.
Nice. I like that pick.
That is the pick. Yeah, they really do. I like that pick. Wow, the Saints made a smart pick. Holy
He's
crap.
nasty, too. I'd say he's the nastiest offensive lineman in this class.
Well, and the nice thing, too, is that their pick of Trevor Penning hadn't really worked out. Now they can try moving him inside and see if he can work out there because it hasn't been working out on the inside.
If they're that smart. It's like you just said, we talked about that with Mekhi Becton there.
Yeah.
It took a different team to do it before teams could realize it and see it, right?
Yeah. On the flip side, Dennis Allen is gone, though, so that has to be a plus. Got Kellen Moore in the building now.
Yep.
So where do the Bears go now, since Genty was one that was popularly marked in mock drafts?
Omir Hampton? You think that he comes up?
That might be kind of early for Omir Hampton. Good God.
Yeah, but if they were hoping for Gianti, would they settle for Omir Hampton here? If not, then you're looking defensive line, I think.
Well, they could go James Pierce. He's on the board. I think that could be a good
Yep.
fit.
Or Mikael Williams from Georgia. He'd be another
Yeah.
good one. Shamir Stewart,
Jalen Walker.
Mike Green. Yeah, tons of defensive guys out there on the board right now.
I think it is
think
defense.
Yeah. We got Romo Dunze, DJ Moore. They could use another wide receiver. Maybe Luther Burton to work the slot.
I don't
Or
think you do that at this
Luka.
pick. If you're doing that, I think you got to trade back.
Was Jalen Walker picked yet?
Nope, he's on board. I think that'd be a good fit here too.
Walter Nolan.
Yeah, there's a lot of good guys.
Mm-hmm.
There's a ton of defensive guys that would just fit their defense because they're a defensive franchise too. So that's one thing they focus on. Or do they want to go speed and get Matthew Golden to fly and really open up the top?
No, hey guys, the Cowboys is coming up and he haven't been drafted.
Who?
I mean, Shador.
Right.
Yeah, no.
I don't think Jerry. You think Jerry can pull that?
Don't O'Boy have a new trade clause?
Huh?
Don't Prescott
I think
got a
Jerry
no trade
would.
clause?
Yeah, but we could trade Prescott. I mean, I'm just saying it's not. I don't think it'll happen, but we could trade him.
No trade clause. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, he got a.
Yeah.
Please don't tell me Jerry signed in with a no trade clause, Terrence. Please,
I
come
thought
on
he
now.
did. I thought he
Yeah.
did.
I think
Really?
he did. I think so.
Is Jerry? Yeah, guys. I have never said this the whole time. Jerry is C now. No, because I'm a Cowboy fan.
I think Jerry just gave Dax whatever he wanted to kind of give Cleveland a fuck you about Watson.
Yeah.
That's why it was like only 100,000 more or 1,000 more.
Oh, it was $1 million more. It was exactly 1 million more.
Oh, okay.
Like, it was a fuck you to Cleveland and
Yes.
fully guaranteed. And like now Cowboy quarterbacks, top paid quarterback in the league, fully guaranteed.
Yep.
Gotta like how Jerry handles stuff.
Right.
So they still got Alvin Kamara there. That's going to improve his run game.
Yep.
Evan Banks there.
Oh, for sure. Who's the
San
quarterback,
Francisco
though?
is going to take Shadur Sanders.
Yeah, right.
They got Mac Jones. They fine.
Yep.
San Fran will go on the defensive line. I guarantee it. Even though they shouldn't, but they will. That's what they do. And I don't know what the Cowboys are going to do now. They'll probably go offensive line, I think. There's no toys out there for Jerry that fits what the team needs.
Yeah, I didn't.
Or
think
he could go
Tucker
Amir
would,
Hampton.
They
How
just
would you
brought
feel
in
about Amir Hampton on the Cowboys?
I'm okay. Yeah, hell yeah, as a running back. I didn't think we would take one early, but now that Genty already gone, yeah, I'm okay with that. That would still have me drafting Hampton as a top 5 player.
The Bears pick is in,
Colston Loveland.
and the Niners
Come
are
on,
the
man, that's a
clock.
garbage pick.
Who'd they pick?
Colston Loveland.
That's
They really
garbage.
did. Well,
That's
they
not
got
selling
Cole
the quarter, Ben.
Didn't they just pay Kemet?
Komet, they paid him not last
Yeah.
year, but the
Yeah,
year
last
before
year.
that. I thought it was the year before that one.
Maybe it was. It was a 4-year deal, right?
Yeah. Wow.
Wow. Over Tyler Warren also.
So guys, make sure you get the running back for Chicago. Looks like they're gonna be trying to run the ball more this year. I don't think they're gonna want to pass. I think they're gonna try to control the line of scrimmage.
I think they take a running back in the second round too.
Yeah, I do too. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, they
If
got
they
2
don't,
second-round
You're
picks.
building your team differently for what is that personnel? That's not 11 personnel, right? That's 10 personnel, right?
That'd be 12 if you go
That'll
2
be
tight ends.
12.
Yeah, if you have 2 tight ends, it's 12.
So to draft a guy this early, that you're going to go 12 personnel a lot. So that's telling you that they're going to be running the ball a lot.
Well,
Yeah,
that's Ben
it could
Johnson's
be.
thing. That's weird. It's weird. I don't get it. I mean, Loveland definitely comps to Sam Laporta, but Why? Why, Bears?
What's going on, Ronald? Ronald's from North Carolina too, man. He stayed right down the road from me. We never met.
Man, you guys gotta
What's
get a
going on,
beer or
Ronald?
something.
What you say?
I say you guys gotta go get a beer or something.
Right. That's what
Michael
Ronald
Williams
said.
for the
What'd you say,
49ers. Michael Williams, that's somebody?
I could see that. Yeah, he's a
Kel Williams,
defensive tackle.
from Georgia.
Yep.
6'5",
D tackle.
260.
Called that
So
one.
there you go. Your 49ers.
Yeah,
What?
it's pretty
Who did
obvious.
they take?
Mikel Williams out
Michael
of Georgia,
Williams.
defensive end.
Okay.
He said it was take his defensive.
He did.
Damn,
Called that
Shadur is
one.
really falling. I think
Cowboys
people
are
going
on
to
the
regret
clock.
this.
Well, hey, Pittsburgh, that worked. I would want him to go to Pittsburgh.
Oh, I do too.
Oh, I think it's a
Let's
perfect
go.
landing spot.
Let's
If
go.
he goes to Pittsburgh, I will take him 1.04 because he'll fall to me there with Tet going that high now and Genty.
Especially with DK Metcalf and George Pickens.
Yep. Got receivers too. Pat Fryermuth at tight end.
See, I told you the Niners would run up for a defensive lineman guy this draft too, didn't I?
Yeah, you know your team.
He did. Yep.
I'm like,
I was a little
many
surprised,
guys
though.
who just have their guy and just run up because of the way the draft is going to fall with linemen, and if somebody gets Genty in their eyes or Tet,
All right,
they'll have their guy.
good.
What's up?
Who the Cowboys picking?
Hampton or Shadur.
They won't take Shador.
No, there's no way, man. You're wish casting.
I'm
No way
trying
they're
to.
taking Shador.
I'm trying to. It's my team, Alex. If I'm a wish
Hey.
cast, I got to do it on my team.
If they take Shador, I'm sending you a gift package worth $100 from the weed store.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Sean. That's what I'm talking about. I love
There
that.
ain't no way.
It still got Jalen Walker on the board.
Yep.
Who's Walker? A wide receiver?
Linebacker.
Edge.
Yep, edge.
Let's say edge
Oh,
out
edge
of
rusher?
Georgia.
Or he can be the edge rusher in a 3-4 linebacker set too. So
Yeah.
he's like a multi-positional guy.
You got Walter Nolan, the defensive lineman out of Mississippi.
Yep.
Mike Green from Marshall. Walter Nolan, he's mentioned him. Yeah. Donovan
the guy-
Izukuro.
As a Ruku.
Yeah.
There's what's the guy from Ohio State? I always butcher his last name. JT Lotule or something like that. He's one that I've seen start sneaking into the back end of the first round. Early here, but where are they going?
Yep.
I'm looking at best available. They don't even got Shadur up there. They got him like number 25.
There's a lot of teams
Yeah,
that
a
don't
lot-
want him.
Like I think he's only got about 25% out of the teams out there that are willing to draft him. I do think the Cowboys are one, but not in the first round. He could even fall right out of the first round. But I'll still like him, and I'll still take him.
End up going to. No, never mind. Yeah.
Sean, who is it that we talk about that only ever puts out one mock draft right before the draft?
Oh, Peter Schwager.
Schrager,
Yeah.
yeah. So in his, he had Shadur falling out of the first round.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
So he would know. He talks to a lot of the GMs and stuff.
Yeah, it's just, to me, Terry, I also want to get your take on this because it seems like you like Shadur as much as Sean and I do. I wonder how many teams took him off their board just because of the Dion effect because Dion's polarizing. How many teams were just like, no, I don't want that in my building. I don't want to deal with that. I don't think it's the right choice, but I'm sure that.
Well, I think some of them is the right choice according to what Sean was saying. I think Shadur went into the interviews and made them not want to take him.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, he definitely bombed a lot of interviews because you can go there and just there's a website for like combine interviews and stuff, and like a lot of teams just basically wrote him right off because they're like, no, it was a horrible interview. And he was like cocky and arrogant, and so a lot of like Alex is saying prime time's attitudes in him where he's like, I know I'm great. I am great, and you're gonna know that I'm great whether you realize it or not. Now I am great.
Yep.
And so just turns a lot of guys right off. A lot
That's
of
why I
people
think
can't handle the natural flair of a primetime kid.
it's not just that too. It's some of these teams too. Like, do they even have the personnel to be able to handle that kind of personality? Because you know it's going to be a big personality.
Oh yeah. Cowboys pick in yet?
Nah, on the website they're still saying the San Fran pick is in. So,
Yeah, on the clock. Then the Dolphins after that, they're an interesting pick too because they could go a lot of ways with the Dolphins. So these next two picks will be pretty interesting.
they need O-line. They need
Yeah.
O-line.
Yes, they do. They need to keep Tua
They need
upright,
defensive line too.
not like offensive
They
line.
could use a quarterback as well. Like they're a team I think will take a quarterback in the second or third from this class. Just you need somebody back there behind Tua. He can't
Yeah, but
stay
I don't
healthy
think you
for
want
the
a
full
rookie, do
season.
you?
Speaking of that, what you think about Tyler Shuck? I'm so sick of people talking about this man.
Man, 1 year starter. Why all the hype? I don't get it.
After like 6 years of being a backup, right?
Well, he's going to be 26 by the time the season starts also.
Yeah, it
He
just
ain't hit none
screams
of my
Brandon
benchmarks.
Wheaton to me.
He ain't hit any of my benchmarks. So, I mean, I like this film some, but he ain't hit none, any of my benchmarks. And let's be honest, he seemed injury prone. So,
Yeah. He had 2 seasons, his last 2 seasons in college is when he was supposed to be the starter. And the first year he was supposed to be the starter. I think he missed 9 games, right? It's like a knee injury or something.
Yep, I think you're right. I'd have to look it up to see.
Yeah, so one full year as a starter.
I think
teams
people are
just
just
love
on
his
him
arm.
because he ran the 40, and people get too into that 40.
Well, he's got a big arm too, but big arm doesn't matter if you can't make the throws.
No, it's kind of like Will Levis, right? Like people got on him because of his arm and his freaking arm talent. Well, look what happened to him. He fizzled.
That's
just
what I'm
like,
saying. That's why I don't care. I don't look at arm talent. I look at, is you poised in the pocket? If you poised in the pocket, I can teach you to play in the NFL.
Yeah, you can fit any system if you're poised.
You can fit any system. You just got to be. That's why Brock Purdy, you put him against Josh Allen and all of these guys. He can't compete with him, but his pocket poise, that's why Shanahan loved him. Trey Lance could not hold his jock strap because that boy was so poised in the pocket. It's a gift. That's why he was the last pick of the draft. That's why Shadur Sanders could be, he's like a Brock Purdy, but a better athlete. I don't know, Sean I don't mean to offend you, Sean, because I know you said Brock Purdy is a dual threat.
He is. He's underrated for his mobility. He can run around. He's one of the better pass throwers on the run that is in the game today. Like I would put him against Josh. I think he's better than Josh Allen. Like Josh Allen's obviously bigger and stronger, is going to do better fantasy wise.
Come on, Sean.
Put up more numbers, but to run a friggin' team, I put them on the same level for that friggin' running team.
I think you smoked a little too much tonight.
Had struggled earlier in his career a couple times, but after what he's did the last 2 years, Sean, Josh Allen is probably a Hall of Famer.
Well, we'll see. Like Brock Purdy could be a Hall of Famer too. Who's been in more Super Bowls?
Yeah, he could be a Troy Aikman Hall of Famer, but Troy Aikman is not better than Dan Marino, I would say.
Well, I would say he is because he's got more Super Bowl rings.
We're going back to our Pantheon conversation. We're going back to that conversation. I don't. I feel you. I don't think rings should rank players because I don't think it's fair.
It is for quarterbacks. You're the reason that a team wins or loses the Super Bowl. You're the reason
Trent Dilfer is better than Deshaun Watson.
I think we can all agree Trent Dilfer is the worst quarterback to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
What about Brad Johnson?
What about Brad Johnson?
Is he a bad quarterback? Because he won a Super Bowl too.
He was considered one of the better quarterbacks in the league.
Come on.
He was very accurate. Could throw the
Yeah,
ball.
he was accurate. He right. But
Like,
I wouldn't say he was
you
a
didn't
Rich
have-
Gannon.
You got to remember, we're talking about an era where you really didn't have a lot of big guys, right? Like you had Brett Favre. You
Yeah.
had who else was there? Warren Moon was out there. Troy Aikman, Steve Young. Like this is when Brad Johnson was there. So all these guys were starting to age out. And at the time, Brad Johnson was considered one of the best younger quarterbacks coming up. But he was old when he was like winning too. So with Tampa Bay for that Super Bowl. But he was like reliable, like Chad Pennington.
Yes.
It wouldn't work in the league today, but back then that worked.
I agree. I agree with the good defense, but I'm still not going to put him as a better quarterback than just because you win a Super Bowl, right?
Well, there's
I can't
exceptions
do
to
it.
every rule, but like Eli
Tyler
Manning, I would
Booker.
take him over Dan Marino.
I wouldn't put Eli over Dan.
I would.
I would say he won more Super Bowls than Dan Marino, but I wouldn't say who would you take, Alex? You taking Dan Marino or you taking Eli Manning?
Oh, I like Marino better, but I do understand the 2 Super Bowl argument. But if it comes down to who do I want for my team, I'm starting a team now. I want Marino.
Okay, the Cowboys took Tyler Booker.
Ooh, I like it. That's a good pick.
Alabama guard.
Yep. Didn't allow a sack last year.
Hey,
He could play inside or outside.
Who did they
And
sign
we didn't take no running back.
You got to be able to block for him. Miles Sanders.
Dallas probably feel they good, like they're good at running back. They got Javonte Williams, right?
Stop it, bro. Stop it.
Nah, you're right. It's Miles Sanders because they paid him more than they paid Javonte Williams.
Listen, I'm decent okay with Miles Sanders.
They got 2 second-round running backs that they brought on the roster. They're gonna let them compete, and they're gonna be your running back room, right?
No, bro.
Or are you guys sleeping and it's still Rico Dowdle? Is it Rico?
I don't.
He said, ugh.
I don't know.
I would have to think one of those 2 would be Rico Dowdle.
Rico had a good game. He had some good games last year.
Yeah, he did. But he also had no competition. Like Zeke was his competition. And we're not talking about Zeke on the original Cowboys when he was drafted. We're talking about Zeke with his walker. I can only run it in at the goal line and fall in for you type of Zeke.
That's true. So that leaves the Dolphins on the clock, correct?
Yep. Which this pick, I think, goes anywhere.
Who they replacing Tyreek Hill with?
You think
they do that in the first round?
They could.
They could. Do they trade Tyreek during the draft? I think that's the.
If they're looking for speed, they'll be Matthew Golden. Then if they're looking for speed.
Oh, they do love speed in Miami.
Yeah,
I think Tyreek Hill and CMC is one of the best values in the draft this year. It's a lot of good values, but I think those 2 guys are really good values.
Yeah, did you see C-Mac says he's going to have no limitations this year? I believe that just like you said that last year, you son of a bitch. Like I wanted Jordan Mason to stay with the Niners so friggin' bad, but
well, that's all right. They're going to draft somebody. You know they're going to draft one now. They have to.
Well, they don't have to. They drafted a guy last year in Isaac Guerrero, and they still got C-Mac, and then they'll just pick up an undrafted guy.
Yeah, the 49ers, the way they do their running backs is like a guy that, the guy that dates like ugly girls, but it seems to work for him. And he get a lot of girls, and you like, damn, maybe I need to try that. That's what the 49ers. They don't care nothing about no top tier running back. They don't. I mean, they'll trade for one if he's out there, but they're gonna wait late to get their running backs. Their system is so good.
Yeah, there's very few guys and they trade. Isaac Guerrero that they took last year, I think they kind of fell to them because of his athletic profile, and I think they thought he could learn off of Christian McCaffrey. But McCaffrey was hurt all season, so that just didn't pan out like they want. But it could be a nice combination coming in this year that would surprise people.
I like Guerrero.
Yeah, he did all right when he had his chances.
Mm-hmm.
So where does Tyler Warren go then? You think the Colts take him here at 14 coming up since Colston's off the
Probably.
board already?
Probably. And I would be out on him. Totally.
I don't think they do, man.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with the Colts like they're freaking projects at tight end.
I think
So I think-
that if the
Look at
Dolphins
Atlanta.
don't take James Pierce here, and I think that's the pick for the Colts. I'm surprised he's still on the board.
There's a lot of good defensive guys still on the board, though.
Yeah, and that's the thing is the Colts need that. Actually,
Oh,
Yeah.
go ahead. Do we have a pick?
No, I have some news that just popped up. USC recruit Gilbert Arenas' son is in a coma after a crash.
Oh,
Pray-
yeah.
Guys, I want to send out my prayers. This is a young guy. He's only in high school.
Yeah, he's a commit.
Hopefully he's not nothing bad. His career could be over. That'll be terrible for Gilbert and his son.
Yes, 100%. And they said that it was a medically induced coma.
So what that mean, Alex? Put me on game.
Yeah, so what that means is that he was stable coming out of the accident,
Okay.
but he was in critical condition. So what they did was they put him in a medical induced coma so that he's not in pain and that they can treat him better without having to worry about his systems failing on him.
Damn, that's bad, guys.
Yeah, I had a friend in high school actually that had to go through something like that, and they put him in a medically induced coma. He came out of it, thank God.
Was he good? Was he himself?
Yeah, he's himself for the most part. It's lots of pain, as you'd imagine, but yeah, he's made a full recovery. Like he was still able to play sports and stuff. I was on the golf team with him. So
you think he'd get his athleticism back?
it's possible. It depends on the
Okay.
injuries.
Okay.
But either way, thoughts and prayers for sure. Because I know also, like he was a 5-star recruit. Top
Yeah,
recruit
he
going
was
to USC.
probably the best of all the celebrity kids, like as far as the NBA stars kids. He was like balling.
Yeah. So
Damn.
hopefully he's able to come out of that and make a full recovery.
So he's a basketball player?
Yes.
Yeah, he's Gilbert Arenas' son coming out. He's top 10 recruit in the nation.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
Yep. So hopefully he's able to recover.
These Dolphins are taking their time. They can't make up their minds.
I wonder if they're trying to move back.
We was
Oh,
to
the
hear
pick
about
is
it.
in. Nope, the Dolphins got their pick in now. Did you say who?
No, they haven't said who yet.
Yeah, I wonder if they do take Matthew Golden, the speedster.
If they do
Well,
that means Tyreek's getting traded, right?
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Oh, if they do that for sure, because they'd be getting calls for Tariq, so it'd be like a thing they do to inject that and see if he really does want out with this pick.
Kenneth Grant, defensive lineman.
Nice.
That's a good pick too.
Yeah, out of Michigan.
I think they probably should have went offensive line, but they also need a defensive line. They haven't really been able to place, was it Christian Wilkins from last year? 2 years ago, sorry.
He's going to be a hard guy to replace. I liked him a lot, even though he's a pain in the
yeah.
butt for the players. But
Well,
he's
they
a fun
also
guy to
have
watch.
Jalen Ramsey requesting a trade, so that's
Well, no,
another
they
hole
told him
there.
that he can go seek a trade.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So that's another hole they're going to have to fill too.
Yeah, well, they pick high enough, they can probably get a decent cornerback in the second. But you got to get one of these friggin' top defensive guys. That's where the meat is right now. With the skill level for the draft position, I would say the top next probably 4 guys is probably all defense.
Yep. So is this Shamar Stewart?
Well, who we got up here?
Whoever they usually pick, their MO is picking someone that's very athletic, that's freakishly athletic. That's their MO.
The
So
Colts?
whoever that,
Yes, it is the Colts and Chris Ballard.
Chris
You never
Ballard is
know
a
what-
good GM.
Yeah, you never know what he's going to do.
Yeah, and he takes risks. I thought the Anthony Richardson, I respect the risk. I didn't like the play, but I still respect it. I'm not gonna say he should be fired. It's okay to miss. Bill Belichick missed in almost every single draft.
Well, John
missed-
Lynch misses in every draft.
John Lynch is a good. He's good. Maxim,
Lynch is
you
good
hard
for-
on him. You hard on the guys that he missed on. But what about the guys he hit on, like Nick Bosa? Well, that's not really hard to miss.
Well,
but
yeah. When,
Yeah,
when the
was-
team that's picking one takes Kyler Murray over Nick Bosa, you're kind of gifted something there.
right. But then you got Brandon Ayuk, you got Debo Samuels, you got George. No, was he there with George Kittle? Yeah, he was there with George Kittle.
Yeah, he took George in the 5th. He's great from the round 3 on. He hits pretty good. But in those first 2 rounds, he misses more than he hits.
Right. He hit on Ayuk.
Nah. I think Ayuk's overrated.
Yeah,
don't
but
think
that's
he's
not
that
what I'm saying. You know, he's got the bag. He was a good draft pick. Yeah, but he got hurt last year. He did.
Yeah. But we'll see what he is without Debo here this year.
Right.
And with
Well, if
Ricky
he's still there.
Pierce. Well, he'll still be there. I know they got him on the trade block, but
Don't nobody want him.
Yeah.
no.
Indianapolis Colts select
Because
Tyler Warren.
Wow, they did
did
it.
they? Wow.
Huh.
I'm done with him.
It's that Brock Bowers experience.
Why are you done with them, Terrence? Tell
I
us.
mean, they're not gonna get the most out of a tight end and with the Colts, and
Nope.
And
Well,
both quarterbacks options is hey, hey.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Who's throwing him the ball?
Daniel
I think it's
Jones,
kinda-
man. Daniel Jones will win that competition.
I'm still going down with that Daniel Jones train. Yeah,
Well, where are
Terrence,
you
I'm
for?
still going down with it. He still is a good quarterback. If Sam Darnold could do it, Daniel Jones can do it.
Man, that's kind of crazy. So that also means then that the Colts were actually in on Brock Bowers last year and just couldn't draft him because he went before their pick. Because Bowers was getting mock drafted there last year.
Yeah, well, the Raiders surprised everybody and took him because they just
Yeah.
drafted Mike Myers the year before.
Mm-hmm. That's weird.
So now we got Atlanta on here. This is where I think Jalen Walker goes because they could use a guy like him with that 3-4 defense.
Or Shamar Stewart.
Or Amari Hampton.
With Bijan?
Nah, I'm just joking.
That'd be nuts.
I don't think they got. I think they're pretty happy with Mooney, but do you think they go wide receiver?
I thought of it. I don't know.
Amari Hampton
I don't know.
going 20th or 21st is either to the Broncos or Steelers.
You
Well,
talking
I
about
think the
Hampton?
Broncos.
Yeah, the Hampton going either to the Broncos or Steelers. That's why I think it stops right there. One of them 2 picks.
My only hesitation with the Steelers is they don't have a second round pick because of the DK Metcalf trade. So if you do that, you're waiting a while.
Unless Kansas City want to shock everybody if he fall and pick him.
I think they go Josh Corley there.
Josh who?
So good. Corley out of
Con-
Oregon.
Connerly?
Yeah,
Offensive lineman?
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't think they're happy with their line because they're getting flags last year like crazy. Like, I'm not sure what team would be looking at another wide receiver here. Maybe Washington, but I got them as like a trade back because they don't have a lot of picks this draft. But Amika Ibuka to Washington, I thought would be a nice little pick too. Put him in the slot with Debo and Scary Terry on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to have Debo in the slot?
With Debo, you
I
can
don't
move
think
all
Debo-
around, and you can move
I
Ibuka
think
all
Debo
around.
have no choice but to play in the slot. I think Ibuka you can move all around.
Yeah, you can move
Yeah.
them both all around. That's
You
the
can
thing.
put
You can
Debo
put
at
Debo
running
in the
back.
backfield.
Yeah.
Well,
But
that's
if
the
you
thing,
want
too.
Debo in the backfield,
You wanna
and
do
Ibuka
that.
on the outside.
If they had all 3 of those receivers, I think they all 3 would be moving in and out of the slot. between Terry, Debo, and Igbuka.
I thought
think I-
Ibuka was better than all of them for Ohio State 2 years ago, but I think I was wrong on that. But I thought he was going to be better than the other guys.
Well, I think part of why his numbers aren't what they could have been is the competition he had on the field. It's not to say that he wasn't the best there, but I mean, even this last year, he was sharing the field with Jeremiah Smith, who is the real deal already.
Right.
Yeah.
Already.
And
So-
that's just it. He went from Marvin Harrison, where he got injured.
Yeah.
So he took a step
Mhm.
back, and then he came
Yep.
back, and then Jeremiah Smith. It was like, we can't hold this fucking guy back because he's so fucking good.
Right.
Yeah.
That it was like, okay, Amika's kind of took a back seat. So the year that was supposed to be his year
Yeah.
kind of got stolen from him by a guy that's a lot better.
Yep.
He might be the
I
best
see-
one of all of them.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. I see him as like an Amon-Ra St. Brown type, and I think he could also be a T. Higgins, like that guy that could be an alpha on any team, but could also just be a solid number 2 for everybody.
Right.
It doesn't matter where you put him. I think he was the safest receiver in this class.
T. Higgins is a smart man. I think T. Higgins would have disappointed a lot of people unless he went to somewhere like Kansas City as a number 1 wide receiver. He's a great number 2 wide receiver, and he can be. Sometimes if you play your lane, you can be a Hall of Famer that way. Like, look at Scotty. What if Scotty would have left Chicago to be the number 1 somewhere? He wouldn't have won any more rings, and he probably wouldn't have been a top 50 player. So I believe if T. Higgins as a number 2 wide receiver is fantastic.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. It's a little crazy to pay both your wide receivers that much because it's going to be interesting to see what the Vikings do when Addison's contract comes up because I don't think they do the same thing.
Right,
Yeah.
but they in Super Bowl windows with Joe Burrow.
Yep.
You pay that
Well-
wide receiver when you're in the Super Bowl window.
They got to fix that
Maybe they
defense
think
though,
they are.
or they're not getting anywhere.
Kansas City when they won their first Super Bowl, they wasn't a great defense, but they got a turnovers. If you can get turnovers, you can be okay defense. This league is not about shutting people down 10 to 14 points. It's about getting turnovers in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, but I don't even think they could do that because
You don't think so? Hendrick, what's his name? Trey Hendrick.
Aren't they trading him?
Are they gonna trade him? Okay.
I think so.
No, they just didn't sign him.
Well,
They still working on the contract though, right?
He's on a franchise tag, I think.
Oh, okay. He's on the franchise tag. Got you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that just I would have signed Trey Hendricks over friggin' Higgins just because it would have done a lot more for the team because that defense needs a lot of help, and now you're getting rid of your best defensive player.
Yep. I would not be surprised if their entire draft is defense.
Who's that?
The Bengals. They got that many holes.
Yeah, and they got holes on the offensive line too, though.
Hey, if y'all can play the audio won't be flagged. If you can put the audio by the mic, that's cool.
It's behind where Terrence
Okay.
finds out
Okay. Well, it
by a
doesn't matter.
good-
It's no big deal.
by a good couple minutes. Like I can do it, but it is behind. But I think he finds out on X or something.
Mm-hmm.
Are you?
Who
Yeah,
me?
I get the notifications on X.
Oh,
Nothing wrong with that.
So he's before it even goes on the TV. Which is just crazy to me.
Yeah.
looks like the Steelers gonna get Shador on it.
I hope so.
Well, and me and Alex did our mock draft there, and I did the odds. And he was doing the evens. This is for our second one. And I had New Orleans. I'm like, no, they're not going to. I want to see how far Shador will fall. And it's like, I think he's actually going to fall to the Steelers because if he gets past the Giants and the Saints, the next
Right.
spot I could see him possibly going is the Steelers. And
Right.
they don't even have to move up to do it. So then you got to look at the teams behind at the back end of the first. Do they have the ammo to move up? Which the Browns, now that they move back, they now have that ammo where they could package a couple of
Yep.
early second round picks and
Mhm.
move ahead of the Steelers. So that's the move to watch because if they can trade with the Broncos and move right ahead of Pittsburgh, then you can see Shador in a Browns uniform.
Right.
But does Cleveland love him? Is the question.
Well,
And they've been
did they
flirting
fall in love
around
with
with
anybody
quarterbacks.
this draft is the question, because they traded back out at 2 where they could have had Travis Hunter to fix a couple of holes.
Which is a weird thing, right? Because that was also a report that they told Travis Hunter they were drafting him.
Yeah. So trying to find the moles in the agency.
Uh-huh.
Well, yeah, I'm interested to see where Jalen Milroe goes too, because he was kind of a surprise to me that he got invited to draft night.
Jackson Dart as well.
Yeah, but I
Oh,
kind
really?
of thought somebody would trade into the back end of the first for him. But Jalen Milroe, I didn't think would go until like mid-second or something.
So we've still
Goody.
got some. Sorry, go ahead, Terry.
Sorry, guys.
Where you got Trey Harris on your rankings?
For me,
Trey Harris?
he's my
Trey
YR2 this class.
No, I'm trying to see what good guy, because he said he wanted to bet for his number 2 wide receiver.
I haven't checked out a lot of Trey. Where's Trey? Where he's coming from?
He coming
Ole
from
Miss. He was
Ole
Jackson
Miss.
Dart's guy.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, we can do that if you want to. I can't put him up against the top 3 guys, but I can put him up against that guy.
Yeah. So when you want to check back after season 2, when you want to check back? When you
I'm
think
gonna
this
check
guy
with you
gonna show
after week 1. I'm gonna hit you up after week 1. No, but
Week 1.
Wait, your guy not gonna get any
Brag,
playing
just to let
time.
you know
I'm
he's
sorry.
coming. Huh?
Your guy not even gonna get playing time.
Say,
in week
okay,
1.
remember you said that.
You might see him in a
Remember you
preseason.
said it. Okay.
You might see him in a preseason.
This is the NFL, bro. Like
Who's
guys
his
start.
guy,
Hold
Joe?
on. You got to put your camera on so we can get some clips while we talk about this, man.
You right. Let me see. Hold on.
Who's he got? Horn?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So Trey Harris for
Jimmy
Jimmy Horn.
Horn. He's saying check back after week 1. This man might only get time in preseason. Week 1, you're not gonna see him on the field in week 1. You can book that.
I give you credit. You told me a long time ago on that on the app that I met you on that Puka Williams wasn't going to even get drafted. You remember that?
No, hell no.
Oh, I remember
Yeah, I
that.
kept talking about Puka Williams, and you was like,
There's
"Bruh,
nobody
he's probably
called
gonna get
Puka Williams in the first place.
drafted." Huh?
There's nobody called Puka Williams. So no, I didn't tell you that.
Yeah. What? No, you said that. You told me you was like, "Man, I don't think Puka gonna get drafted." I remember that.
Puka
But
Nacua,
I actually,
I don't
I
know.
like
No,
Joe.
Puka Williams. Yes,
Who the
I
hell is
remember
Puka
this.
Williams?
The
But
running
he
back
had
was
the-
Williams.
I'll tell you.
About
I'll
4
tell you
years
this
ago.
story.
Did
Maybe
he
you
get
remember,
drafted?
Terrence.
Did he get drafted?
No, he didn't.
No, he
Because
was a free agent.
yeah.
So I was right.
So yes, you were right. He did
Yeah,
not
you
get
were
drafted.
right.
But you'll remember because he had a foot thing. He was missing like 4 toes on his foot.
Oh yeah.
See, I knew I'd get
And
you.
he's from New Orleans.
I don't care
Yeah.
where you're from. I told you he wasn't gonna get drafted. He didn't get drafted.
Right. We're gonna see about Joe though. We're gonna see about Joe.
Jalen Walker was the 15th pick.
Oh, that's a good
Joe.
pick.
That was to the Atlanta.
Yep.
Oh, he's a Georgia boy too. Oh, you know they
It's
ran
just a
that pick up
perfect
there.
fit.
Yeah.
I could have guessed that if I was thinking about it.
Yep, same. So that.
So we got
16,
Trey Harris versus Jimmy
16's
Horn.
Arizona.
Arizona.
I'm willing to bet, unless Trey Harris get injured, there is no season that Jimmy Horn finishes with more fantasy points than Trey Harris. Book it.
Okay.
No season. All right.
Damn.
I'm trying to think of some wide receivers that was drafted in the 4th or 5th round, and we saw them start like week 1 and get a lot of targets because they was that good.
Nicole.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
pretty much
was
it.
the that's one, and that's also the Rams too. That's the Rams. They can only one that can do some shit like that.
Yeah. And I'm saying this, without knowing where these people landed at draft capital.
Yep.
I'm already putting it on the books.
Yep. So what's
Anybody
the
else
terms
you
on?
wanna throw out there?
What's the
Anybody else
terms
you
on
want
this
to throw out
bet?
there? Put it down.
So here's what you're playing for. The end of the season, the first show of the playoffs, the loser has to come on the show shirtless.
Shirtless.
I don't care. I'll do it. I don't care.
Get your taco trucks ready.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, let me get my baby all ready.
All right, Diddy. Pause. You gonna get this live
Cardinals
flag,
on the
man.
clock. Who we think the Cardinals are going to take?
I have no clue what they need.
Well,
Somebody
James Pierce
commented
Jr.?
anonymous. Nah, not anonymous.
The Cardinals need help on the defensive line. They need help freaking
They
at wide
do.
receiver.
Yeah, I would say defense.
Will Johnson's on the board. Corner out of Clemson. Or
Yeah.
not Clemson, Michigan, right?
Yeah, Michigan.
Yeah. So that's one option. Shamar Stewart's on the board. James Pierce on the board.
Jimmy
Yep.
Horn's on the board.
I don't think they're going that early.
I know.
Wide receiver wise, there's Matthew Golden, Luther Burton, Amika Ibuka. I don't think
They might go to
wide.
Mika Ibuka, maybe.
Yeah, I could see that. Pair him up with Marvin and just let them work because they could both do everything. So
Right.
would
And
really
then you got
open up.
Michael Wilson, who's a good solid slot guy.
Or is it a Luther Burton trying to get what they could never do with Rondale Moore?
They better not try that shit no more. Luther is he's a good athlete, but he doesn't run the route tree.
Who's that?
Burton.
Oh,
The Luther Burton.
no, he's got a
guy.
very small route tree. He's raw, right? So,
Yeah, he's raw, but
Yeah.
he's a great athlete though. He's
Yep.
kind of,
Oh, yeah.
you could teach raw guys. Like Tyreek was a raw wide receiver, and he was taught to play wide receiver.
Oh,
Yep.
Tyreek was another guy that Chris was on, Alex, really early. He was trying to give him
Yeah.
to me on like a throw-in of a package that he wanted. And he's like, oh, let me give you Tyreek Hill. This guy will be the next thing. And I was like, who the frig is Tyreek Hill? I've never even heard. And I don't want him. And, I took some friggin' idiot over him that was also a rookie at the time, but was drafted ahead of Tyreek. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
want that guy. Chris Conley, I think. I'm like,
Yeah.
I want Chris Conley thrown in over Tyreek. And then, like, the
Oops.
next game, Tariq exploded. I'm like, and he even
Well,
said,
I remember that.
next week you'll be able to get a first off me for him. And I'm like, no, I never even heard of this guy.
Yeah,
Whoops.
nobody knew they was gonna put him at wide receiver, man.
Yeah. Well, and I remember that breakout game too because it came against the Steelers and it was like 12 catches. He had like 16 targets in that game. I was like, what the
Is that
who is
his
this
rookie
dude?
season? Is that his rookie season?
Yeah, it was like halfway through the year. It was like I think week 6,
Yeah.
week 7.
Damn, he had 12 catches as a rookie.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Oh, yeah, man. Like,
Yeah.
When he came, like, he did a couple of games where he had some 3 or 4 games in a row where he had punt returns.
Yeah,
So they're like,
I
okay,
remember
let's
that.
try him on wide receiver. And he was just so fast, people weren't expecting it. And, like, because he never was invited to the combine because of his
Yeah.
domestic violence in college. So
Right.
nobody knew how fast he was, and he just shocked the world, and they just kept dumping it to him. Well, if they can't
And
stop him, I'm just going to keep going to him, and Andy just pump.
Did you see that first playoff game when he was a rookie where he got the first play of the game, that sweet, and took it 70 yards with Alex Smith
Yep.
still the quarterback?
Yeah,
To the
That
house.
was Jamal Charles
Yep.
last year.
the Cardinals got their pick in. I don't know who it is yet, but it's in.
It's Wooten. It's Walter Nolan, the defensive tackle.
Wow,
from
okay.
Kansas City.
Yeah,
Nice.
I like
That's a
that.
good pick.
'Cause they
That
need a lot of
defensive
help
line
on
is
that
starting to look pretty
defensive
good.
line.
Right.
Yeah, because they just added Josh Sweat too, and then there was another defensive tackle I think they added. I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Whoa.
It was funny too, that Tyreek Hill game, Sean, you were saying they just kept dumping it to him. That's exactly what they were doing. He wasn't even really running routes. It was like drags and flat routes. And that was all it was. And they just kept doing it. Yeah. Because the Steelers couldn't stop it. He was just too fast. And they kept doing it. I'm like, they're doing the same play. Just go get that guy.
Just have a guy stand on the far hashtag of the 10-yard line.
Right. Start out there.
Tariq will run right into you. It was like 3 or 4 plays. It was hilarious.
Yeah. That was ridiculous.
We're down to just me and you on here since you can't see.
Oh, okay. So 17. So Cardinals just went, and now we're talking 17.
It's going to
Bengals?
come across here. Yes,
I think
it's the Bengals.
Bengals.
Yep. So they should go Mike Green here, I think. Or James Pierce. I didn't think James Pierce would fall this far.
Yeah, I thought there was no chance he'd be on the board. Yeah, I like that pick a lot. Or let's see, Shamar Stewart is another one. Athletic freak.
Yeah,
That
but
could be
they have
interesting.
Luke Wilson there at middle linebacker already. Where Shamir.
Isn't he more of an edge outside guy?
Yeah, he is. But I think you need more of an edge on the actual line if you're letting these guys walk. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or do you go secondary and start building with someone like Nick Iminori or Will Johnson, who's still falling?
Yeah, or Barron, who's out there.
Johnny Barron, yeah. I'm
Yeah,
surprised at the
there's a-
corners. Corners have been falling.
Yeah, I'm shocked actually, but because there's a lot of them too, right? And there's a lot of defensive edge guys, and people like to get these defensive lines and draft them early.
Yeah, and that's why I'm surprised James Pierce is still out there. Does he have injury things that popped up or something?
Not that I know of. I haven't seen anything, and he's been a guy that I like a lot. So
Yeah.
who knows? Got the
So
Bengals. Yeah, I like Pierce here.
I think that's the pick. It's got to be something on the defensive side. The only way you go offense is offensive line, and I don't think. Oh well,
Well,
Josh
you still
Simmons
got-
is on the board.
Yeah, so is Donovan Jackson. So you still got a couple of good guys that are there. So I could see that too, since they've never worked on it. But like, man, your defense was so bad. You got to do something on that side of the ball.
Yeah, you absolutely have to do something on that side of the ball, especially with Trey Hendrickson requesting a trade and then acknowledging that, okay, well, go ahead, you can seek one. And it's just one of those things with the Bengals. Just want to play on one side of the ball. And it makes you wonder too, do you think Zach Taylor's on the hot seat? He kind of has to be, right?
Yeah, you have to be. You're not building a proper team here. I don't know what the hell's going on there, but somebody's doing something stupid, whether it's the GM or if it's the two of them doing it. Who's pushing them? Because their only focus, it seems like, is on the offensive side.
It's almost like they're playing fantasy football.
Yeah, it's just crazy. And then you got the guy running the Browns is a baseball guy.
Yeah, Andrew Berry.
He's just playing the math and move. He likes to move back a lot and collect.
Well, and that's the thing. I know you're not a huge fan of the Browns GM, but one thing that I will say is that he does tend to make what look like good moves on paper. It's just the talent evaluation. Like he's trying to do the right things, but he's picking the wrong guys, if that makes sense.
I will totally give you that because that's exactly how I see it. It's like, okay, you
It's
know how to GM, but you don't know football talent because you're a baseball guy.
Right. It's the right process, wrong move.
Yeah. Like you understand the nickel and dime of the trade, friggin' etiquette and all that. You do the trades very well.
Yes.
You even go out and get free agents very well, but you do not know how to draft talent.
Well, and did you see too the trade they made before the draft tonight? We didn't talk about it, but
yeah, Houston and
yes. So it was a 5th this year and a 5th in 2027 to Houston for Houston's 2, 6, and 7 this year. So that's just the Browns. They want to take more swings, like we're talking about, right?
Which I don't get. Like at some point, you can't keep all these guys, so why not start packaging and start moving up and getting elite talent?
Yeah. Well,
that's how I would go.
Yeah.
Like I'd be going after guys on defense who are like nose for the football and ball hawks, and guys on offense who are like cool under pressure and make those big play moments in the fourth. Like I don't care about the combine. Yeah, I'll watch it. I'll see what the hell look at what
Right.
people do up for analytics. It's all nice, but give me the guys who are actually ballers that they're going to get looked at when the time comes to matter to win the game. And those are the guys that are going to get the ball and get you the points.
Yep. That's the thing that concerns me with Cam Ward is under pressure. He gets antsy in the pocket.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I don't like about him. Like he's going to be the first quarterback taken in super flexes, but I don't know if I'd take him. I would trade out of the pick if I was 1.2. I'd want to trade out and let somebody else take Cam Ward.
Yeah, I have that situation in I think 2 leagues. I have the 102. One I have the 103. So I've got some interesting decisions coming up because so far I will say I'm not in love with any of these landing spots.
Well,
So
the
we have
103, I
Gentile.
think you're all right, but you're going to have GNT is going to be the 101 pick no matter what. And in super flexes, it's going to be Cam Ward no matter what. So those are your first 2 picks in super flexes.
Yep.
So the 103, you could go anywhere, right? So you kind of know what you're doing because that's going to be where most rookie drafts start.
Yep. It will be interesting. That is for sure. And Tyler Warren going to the Colts. I'll be curious to see how that pans out in rookie drafts. Like, do people like that landing spot or do people get skittish and he starts falling and then you get a good value?
You were right. Shamir Stewart to the Bengals.
Oh, all right. Well, that's good. They went defense.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow's got to be happy, right?
Well, at least they'll get some pass rush billion from more than one guy, and that's even if they can keep Trey Hendrickson for the season because he's seeking a trade.
Well, and that's the other thing too. So let's say they do trade Hendrickson. Well, now you got Shamar Stewart trying to get his pressure, and defenses know that's the guy that's going to be bringing the pressure, so you can key on him.
Yeah, he's
Right,
going to
so-
need some help.
Yeah,
But they might be able to get a guy in the second round as well.
it's true. It is pretty deep class. And so now we've got 18. Who's after the Bengals? Is that the Seahawks? No, they're 20.
No, they're
19.
not 20, I don't think. It's coming
I think
across
they're
here in the
19.
bottom of it. So the next pick is the Seahawks, you're right, and then the Buccaneers, and then we got the Broncos, and then the Steelers.
That's it. No. Oh boy. All right, so we got the Seahawks on the clock, and
And we got
I remember.
Terrence back with us now, Alex. Just so you know, because I know you
I didn't see any exciting picks happen in the last couple picks.
No, it's
Just
Shamar
defense. Just
Shamar
defense.
Stewart. Yep, to the Bengals, which the Bengals need a defense.
We got like Shamir Stewart though, because you can line him up in a couple of positions at least on that edge. Like that defense, you can line him up on the line on the edge, or you can put him on linebacker and have him come in on the outside, kind of like a little bit, kind of like Parsons. You know what I mean?
Yeah, where you can just move them all over the formation. You can bring pressure from anywhere.
Full show. So what are the Seahawks going to do? They need a wide receiver for sure.
They do, but do you take one here?
I think Mike
'Cause they did-
McDonald's going to want James Pierce Jr. actually.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. Or one of the safeties, because both safeties are on the board. And I think this is the sweet spot for safety too, because your next pick, one that we liked a lot, was Malachi Starks to Tampa.
Yeah, and I still like that. And Tampa's the pick after.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that'll happen there if he's still there. If the Seahawks don't take Malachi Starks.
Where do you think that the Seahawks go, Terrence?
What do they need?
Offensive line, defensive line, secondary,
Wide receiver.
possibly receiver. They did bring in Cooper Kupp, and they've got Jackson Smith and Jigba, but what are you going to get from Kupp left?
Looks like their pick is in, but I see the best players on the board left is what, Jaden Barrow? How to pronounce his name?
Jahari Barron.
Oh,
Yeah.
Johnny Barron.
Johnny Barron.
I like him a lot.
Yeah.
Mike Green, Will Johnson. So
There's still
so the
James
top,
Pierce Jr.
yeah, it mostly defense led. Top two corners outside of Travis Hunter are still on the board too, and Will Johnson. So it'll be interesting. I think James Pierce. I'm gonna stick with that one.
Yeah, I think him as well. That would be my guess. Because you're
So
going to
they
want,
need an
Mike
edge.
McDonald's going to want a nasty defense.
Yep, and Clint Kubiak is the offensive coordinator this year, right? Because they got rid
Yes.
of Ryan Grubb after one season.
I'll be back in 5 minutes, guys.
Sure.
I'm just going to go have a quick hit.
Mhm.
All right. Grays Zabel. I don't even know who that is. I didn't even see his name nowhere. Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Inside
offensive
office
tackle.
lineman out of North Dakota State.
Yep, he was one that started climbing way late. Like he's one I didn't even get to do a full evaluation on because his name came up so late. So he's one that I kind of missed out on as far as my evaluation process. But North Dakota State, smaller school, makes you wonder about competition, right?
We got Conscious Machine 413 saying, OMG, I forgot about the draft. Give me a recap.
You wanna recap the picks? Can you pull that up?
Yeah, I got the picks. We got the first pick is Cam Ward going to the Titans. The number 2 pick is Travis Hunter going to the Jaguars. Number 3 pick, Abdul Carter going to the Giants. Number 4, the Patriots select Will Campbell. Number 5, Browns selected Mason Graham. Number 6, the Raiders select Ashton Genty. Number 7, the Jets select Armin Memble. Number 8, the Carolina Panthers select Tech McMillan. Number 9, the Saints select Kelvin Banks Jr. And number 10, the Bears select Colston Loveland. At 11, the 49ers select Michael Williams. At 12, we got the Cowboys selecting Tyler Booker, guard out of Alabama. At 13, we got the Dolphins selected Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle out of Michigan. At number 14, the Colts select Tyler Warren, tight end out of Penn State. At number 15, the Falcons select Jalen Walker, linebacker out of Georgia. At 16, we got the Cardinals selecting Walter Nolan, defensive tackle out of Mississippi. At 17, the Bengals select Shamir Stewart, edge tackle out of Texas A&M. At number 18, the Seahawks selecting Gray Zebo, that's how to pronounce it?
Yep.
Offensive tackle out of North Dakota State.
Yes.
Yep. So
Thank you for
the
that recap.
Buccaneers are on the clock at 19.
You have a feel for where they might go here?
What do the Buccaneers need?
Secondary. That's one.
If secondary,
one
then
spot.
you still have that guy on Jade Barron on that pick.
Jody Barron, Will
Jody
Johnson.
Jody.
Yep. And that's an interesting draft so far. So I want to ask you, we talked about tight ends on one of our last episodes. How do you feel about the landing spot so far for Colston Loveland to the Bears and Tyler Warren to the Colts?
The question is, are we feeling like Loveland is going to go to the Bears and just take over like the Bowers did on the Raiders, or we feel like they're going to utilize both of them? How are we feeling about that? So I'm not sure how they're going to utilize them. And then the other one with the Colts. Hey, I didn't want any tight end that go to the Colts.
I'm with you on that one, man. I did not want to see a tight end go to the Colts. we get that. And not only do we get that with what was consensus the top tight end coming into the class. I'll be honest, I don't love either spot. I think Ben Johnson's going to want to use Colston Loveland like Sam Laporta, and I think he's able to do that. But does that mean you're just casting away Cole Kmet and his contract?
Yeah, and I don't think Cole Kmet trash or anything.
No, I don't either. I think he's a good tight end, and he seemed to have some chemistry with Caleb Williams last year. He wasn't a total waste. So,
Baffling.
yes, that's putting it lightly.
But it seemed like Twitter was excited about it. I don't know if that's just them being, who they are, or they really truly is excited about it. I don't know.
Yeah, is it just one of those things where they're excited because it's a rookie and a coach that we think we're going to like in Ben Johnson?
If I was, I guess, I mean, you're going into a good offense. If you trust that they're just going to throw him out there and he's going to take over the position, hey, I can see you being excited,
Yep, and that's just it. I think it really depends on what you think about these guys coming in also. Like with Loveland, if he was your guy coming in and he goes to an offense and now you've seen Ben Johnson use Sam Laporta and make him a good thing, then you double down, right? You're just that confirmation bias. I love this dude and he went somewhere I like. Or if you're kind of iffy, like I like Tyler Warren coming in, but who's throwing him the ball? I don't trust Daniel Jones, and I don't know that Anthony Richardson has it. I don't know if he could throw it.
Yeah. What? Buka to the Buck.
Egbuka?
Somebody posted that. I don't. That's not a website I trust though. Somebody posted that. Nah, he did. He did select it. He did select it. Buka to the Buccaneers. What the? You got? Why? I don't understand it.
That's what I'm saying. I don't get it
No,
either.
I don't like that pick at all.
I don't understand it.
I guess they're getting ready so Mike Evans could teach them and get them ready.
Maybe, but I mean, they brought back Chris Godwin.
Yeah, they got two good receivers. The young boy did well last year.
Yeah, Jalen McMillan.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
No, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Well, there's always head scratchers, right?
They went up fast for that too.
Well, Mayfield looking good. Look like he'll have another good year.
Yeah. Well, Mayfield's got to be happy. They just keep giving him receivers. That's what, 3 years in a row now they've drafted a receiver?
Some people should
least
feel
if they had another guy before McMillan.
Yeah.
I forget what his name is.
Jalen McMillan stocks have dropped, have plummeted.
Yes. Yes, they
sure have.
And that's unfortunate because he did show some strong play to finish the season last year.
Oh, it's getting exciting, fellas. The next two picks, we got the Broncos and the Steelers. So it should be some fireworks. Should be some fireworks in one of these picks.
Yep.
If not both.
Hopefully both. So do we think the Broncos are going running back here in the first round?
I think they're a good candidate for Amir Hampton.
They got it. I mean, they don't have a running back. They don't have a running back one on the roster right now, right? They got to.
No,
they don't. They drafted Estime last year, but he was hurt most of the season. Then they had was it Chase McLaughlin? And then who's the other guy that got mixed in there? Well, Javonte Williams is gone. He's in Dallas now. So let me ask you guys this. If Hampton goes here to the Broncos, are you still taking Genty over Hampton? Or do you go Hampton?
I mean, both of them going to be broken points.
Draft them both.
I would go Hampton over Gianti anyways, personally.
Until the Raiders. Now, if the Raiders double back and pick another running back, then I'll go Hampton. Like I gotta make it past the second and third round without them picking another running back.
Yeah, so we got to get through tomorrow.
Yeah, that Tampa Bay offense is going to be scary.
But last year, I was picking up them backup running backs that was starting for the Raiders, and they was scoring me points. So I know Jiffy about to go in there and go crazy.
Yep, he sure is.
Well,
Let's just hope Pete Carroll doesn't add more running backs.
He will.
Yeah, well, he did that to Kenneth Walker.
Yep. And Zach Charbonnet, they took him way earlier than I thought anyone would too.
No, I knew somebody was going to take him. I didn't think they would take him. I was hoping it wasn't them that took him though.
Yep, I would agree with that.
So then we got the Steelers coming up after. That's where I think the first spot Shador could go is.
Oh, I hope it is.
Yeah, well, we're getting close. That's
No
why
trades.
I wanted to go
That's
have
my
a quick hit before the Steelers pick. That's where I think he's going. Get to see inside the primetime house.
Well, you know what? That also means for the Broncos is that Evan Ingram has dodged 2 major bullets because the Broncos didn't have a chance to draft a tight end. So assuming Evan Ingram is healthy, that could be a nice little sleeper tight end.
Oh yeah. Somebody was trying to trade for my Evan Ingram, and I was like, "Look here, not happening. Not happening. I'm not giving him up."
I didn't think you traded anyways.
Hey, I don't trade my guys. Ingram is not my guy.
You're the Green Bay Packers of fantasy.
Well, I think I was trying to manufacture a trade either for, I think it was either McBride or Harrison. I know there was a couple of trades in that league people put on a block. And I was like, oh, well, I got to at least shoot my shot. But they was wanting a little too much. But I was like, look here, I know you looking at the trade calculator, but it ain't easy to come by a quarterback in this league. So I'm not going to just try to appease you and make the trade equal when I know quarterbacks has worked a little more in this league.
Yep. And that's a big thing with trades is knowing your league. So if you got one of those leagues like that where it's just impossible to trade for quarterbacks, it's hard to give them up.
When you get in a league, you kind of know it's hard to get because people try to fleece you of that position from you. Well, it's so easy to have it.
What makes me mad is the leagues that I get offered the quarterback in. It is leagues that already have a quarterback. The leagues that I don't have a quarterback, no one never offer a quarterback. Like, I was like, bro, why are you trying to give me this quarterback? You see, I got 3 quarterbacks. I don't need a quarterback, man.
Absolutely. I'll say that's actually one of my pet peeves with trades is when people try to offer me trades and you could tell they're just spamming offers to everybody, but they're not looking at your team to see what you need. And they'll offer you, like you're saying, a quarterback when you got like 3 that are already good. You're set on quarterback and they're still offering you quarterback. It's like, did you even look at my roster?
No, that's what you got to do. You got to examine the other team and see what you would want if you were in their position.
Absolutely.
And then see what you can get deals done. So what would you say is the biggest surprise of the draft so far? Gianti going to the Raiders?
No, I think Igbokwe to the Bucks. I know that one just happened. But
yeah.
That surprises me more than any other.
You're right. I didn't understand that pick.
Now, also, that kind of puts the Packers in an interesting situation, right? Because they're one of those teams that was talked about as, hey, we need a number 1 receiver now. Does that mean Matthew Golden?
They got 4 of them.
Them guys don't know what they're doing over there.
Matthew Golden is no different.
What do you say, Sean?
Matthew Golden is no different than Christian Watson.
Maybe he can be healthier. Maybe.
But it's the same player. Like they always say, they got 4 YR1s. Why would you go out and draft one?
Well, that's
And
one
they never
thing that
drafted
they've
him
actually
first.
during this draft season, though. That's something they've talked about is wanting to get a number 1. Maybe that's a media story putting it out there.
Well, that's what I think, because the only one I can remember them taking in the first round is Christian Watson.
Jadee
Barron. Jadee Barron.
Jadee
All right.
Jadee Barron. There you go. He is off the board.
All right,
that's going to be a
Steelers.
dangerous combination with Patrick Surtain. Oh my God.
That's what they said. They said he's not gonna get scored on.
Oh, that's exactly what they said. They said Patrick Mahomes, have fun playing this defense.
That's nasty, man. They got lucky getting him too. And he was the second one off the board. Remember I told you he was my favorite Hawks?
Yeah, that's crazy. And Will Johnson's still on the board.
Yeah.
So that's nuts. All right, Steelers.
Shador,
you can do it. You can do it.
Drop out the first round or not? It depends on this pick.
Yep. Or it's going to take a trade in.
Yeah. If it's not here, it'll be the Vikings trading out at 24 or the Commanders trading out at 29. That's my call. But I want him to go right here to the Steelers. Let's go.
Yeah, it'd be a nice pick. It's a perfect fit too, because he does that nice check down game, which the Steelers like to do, and then they can do that play action bomb, and he does that well too. And if he needs to, they can roll him out. Like, it's just a great fit.
And I know he ain't going that interview and act up. I know he didn't.
Nope. No chance.
And Tomlin's one of these coaches who would be able to handle his personality.
Now, one of the things that I question too is one of the things that we love about Shedeur, Sean, is that he's been getting mentorship from Tom Brady. Well, that shit stops as soon as he's drafted, I would assume, unless he goes to the Raiders somehow.
Now.
Yeah.
Unless they do it in the off season or something. Just go over every game afterwards.
I don't know.
Because it'd be hard with Tom Brady being an owner now, right? It'd be interference with another team.
Yep. That's fine. He got 2 years of it.
Yeah. Well, I think he'll get more. Like, you can still do it in the off season when you're not playing, right? Watch past games. As long as it's not in the season. Because you can't say who you can hang out with. And that's one thing, primetime, when he had his contract, his baseball contract always ended when the football season started. So when he was playing in the playoffs, he was playing for free.
Oh, man.
Steelers taking their time here, Alex. It's gonna be Amir Hampton.
No, it's not. That'd be stupid. As much as I like him, that would be stupid.
Well, Luther Burton then to pair up with DK and Pickens for Aaron Rodgers.
You still need somebody to throw the ball.
Yeah, they'll just lure in Aaron Rodgers or trade for Cousins.
Nah, dude. Mason Rudolph. He's on the roster. That's who it would be.
That's who it is right now.
I know. Yep.
The pick is in. I guess we still got a couple minutes to see what it is.
Yep.
And then we got the Chargers on the clock after them.
Well, we were dead wrong on the Chargers. Actually,
Colson Loveland went way higher than we thought.
I don't know what the Chargers do. I have no clue.
Could be James Pierce.
Yeah, work on that would be defensive line.
That'd be a Harbaugh pick. I don't know. Let's get this pick in. Let's call it Shedeur.
You could also go Josh Simmons or Donovan Jackson at Ohio State. Add more to that line.
Yeah. Honestly, the Steelers could do that too. I could still use more offensive line if it's not Shedeur.
Yeah, if this isn't Shedeur, I think he falls out of the first.
Defensive line, Derek Farman.
What the hell? I mean, what the? All right. Well, to be fair, Sean, that is one of the picks that I said that they would make, but that was before realizing that Shadur could fall that far. So now, fuck, I don't know. I guess that means they're all in on Aaron Rodgers.
Or they're going to trade for Cousins because they're rumored to be talking with the Falcons for that right now.
Yeah. Well, it will help the run D, which is something that has been a problem the last couple of years, and he was the best run stuffing defensive lineman that was projected for the first round, but I think that means they're just rolling with veteran at quarterback because they don't have a second round pick. So okay.
No, that confirms that Rodgers is definitely gave him the wink that he gonna sign there because their organization can't be that arrogant to go into the season with Rudolph as a quarterback. It can't be that arrogant.
Yeah. No, I agree.
They have never done. They haven't been successful with him at all. I don't know why they think this is going to change.
Yeah, I also don't understand why you wouldn't take Shadur there. Maybe they know something we don't, but that seemed like the sweet spot. That's the pick that I would have made. But again, that's why I guess I'm talking about football, not actually coaching it.
Somebody got to trade in and get Shadur. I'm gonna be flabbergasted if we go to the second round. That's gonna be crazy work. Crazy work. I wasn't a big Shadur fan myself, but I know you guys been rolling with him. You know.
Yep. I told Sean too if that's the pick that I was gonna go buy a jersey, but I guess saving myself some money because I ain't buying a Shadur jersey because he's not going there unless there's another trade.
Yeah, I don't see that happen. You can go get a Derek Harmon jersey, though.
No, thanks.
They're getting their Cam Hayward replacement ready.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, that was one of those things that I saw that as a pick for them. And you can go back and listen to our podcast. That was one of the names that I kept bringing up for the Steelers. But that's because I didn't think there was any chance Shadur would be there. The fact that we took him over Shadur is the part that I'm just kind of like, okay, what? Why?
Maybe Tomlin thinks he can get him in third.
I mean, if that's the case, I'm all for it, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Goody should have been on right now. I mean,
what the hell?
This guy.
So what we got here now, we got the Chargers are up. Then we got the Packers, the Vikings, the Texans. So maybe the Rams might have Shedeur fall to them. Outside of that, nobody else needs a quarterback this round. So you have to trade in, whether it be the Giants or the Browns, trade up. Well, it'd be pretty easy for the Browns to trade in right now.
Yep. Or do they want those 2 early second-round picks so that they can go and get their running back and receiver or whatever it is they're looking for?
Yeah, there's that too. Or just stay there and see if a quarterback falls, knowing that there's only one that can go ahead of you, and you still got Shedeur, Dart, and Milroe out there.
Yeah.
Yep. So if you don't really care.
Right, they've got 33 and 36 right now.
Yeah, they're sitting in a good spot. I guess they're rolling with Kenny Pickett, maybe.
You mentioned Kirk Cousins to the Steelers. The one that I had kept hearing was Cousins to the Browns.
Yeah, there's apparently the Browns, the Giants, and the Steelers have all been in talks with the Falcons.
Yeah.
Which I think it's just going to be whoever misses out on a quarterback. So you're going to have a lot of those guys playing a weight game.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, if you're the Browns, I think 33 is going to be a sweet spot to trade because you're always going to get more than what you're getting out of that one player at the 201.
Tron Force says, don't forget the Ravens traded back into the first round at the number 32nd pick to get Lamar Jackson.
Yep, they did do that. And they snuck back. He was a surprise in that draft, if you guys remember, because I don't think anybody expected him in the first.
I did. I said some team would trade back in for him. I didn't know who it would be, but it was a surprise that it was the Ravens because they had still Joe Flacco on the roster.
Yeah.
But just like I said, Tebow would be drafted in the first two, right? Somebody would get googly eyes for him.
Yep. Well, we thought that about Jackson Dart and Jalen Milroe, and obviously this first round's not over yet. There's 3 quarterbacks still sitting out there.
Yeah, I didn't think Milroe. I was surprised Milroe was even invited to this draft night. But then the guy that runs it says that you'll be surprised how high he goes. Well, I think that time's passed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dart,
so
Dart too. People projected
Yep.
Dart to be drafted first round. So.
Yep.
Yeah, see, I thought Dart would be a guy that the Browns would take with their first pick in the second.
Yeah, that's possible. Hey, I'm gonna hop off, guys. I gotta pee real quick.
All right.
All right.
Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving. Drive buzzed.
I don't know if he paused his camera or not, but I can't see if he's there or what. Yeah, I don't think Shador's going in the first round, man.
No, it's not
'Cause I
looking
don't-
good.
You look at the teams that need quarterbacks, they're sitting in spots that are still high up in that second round, so they could sit there and wait. Unless you're really sold on a guy, then you're in the Giants and you want to move ahead of the Browns so they don't get him. And you move into the back in the first, but that would be crazy. What do you think the Chargers do?
What do they need? What all the Chargers need?
Well, they could use a wide receiver. They could use a tight end. He's just fixing up his lines on how he wants
I don't
them.
think they got no more first round tight ends, first round worthy tight ends. That would be crazy to draft another tight end here. But the people next on the list, I think, Mike Green, Will Johnson, Derek Harmon. Hold up, Derek Harmon was picked. Mike Green, Will Johnson. What about
They
this?
could use a cornerback.
What about
They got a
Jaheed
Asante Samuel, but they got nobody else.
Maxwell Hairston.
Yep, from Kentucky.
And I don't know how to pronounce his name. Nick Emenwari out of South Carolina. How to pronounce his name?
Emenwari. I wish Alex was here. I always butcher that name myself. You still got Malachi Starks out there from Georgia too, the safety.
Yeah, both of them safety.
He'd be a good pick here.
You still got
pair
Josh.
Him up with Derwin James, and now Mahomes will have problems. Yeah, I think they probably go defensive back position. Malachi Starks or Will Johnson. Try to slow down Mahomes, right?
Mm.
You're running out of time on this clock. And then we got the Packers after that. And then the Vikings. What do you think the Packers or the Vikings do? Any thoughts on them?
Pick is in, so we'll get the pick in a minute. Packers. Green Bay, they says their biggest need is cornerback, wide receiver, edge, defensive line, inside offensive line, OT, and LB. So they definitely got cornerbacks that's waiting in the queue.
Yeah, I think they go Will Johnson probably. He's the best one out there, used to playing in cold weather. Michigan, Green Bay, same sort of coldness. And he's about 3 inches bigger than what Maxwell Harrison is too. And Harrison's more of a slot cover YR, like the nickelback. corner.
Chargers, they should go defensive lineman. Let's see. We might only get like one or two more offensive fantasy picks in the draft.
Yeah, I didn't think there'd be that many going in the first. Normally it's like this draft is pretty heavy in defense, so people will stack up on them because you get them for years, right? Where it's harder to pick a skill player too. And these cornerbacks, I'm surprised how far they've been pushed down. Like Green Bay is getting gifted Will Johnson here, as far as I'm concerned.
Marion Hampton. Woo! Chargers, didn't you just get Harris? What is going on?
Najee. They got Najee and Amari Hampton, and they got J.K. Dobbins still too.
What is going on? Dobbins not signed. Dobbins not signed right now. But what the hell is going on? I don't understand.
That's crazy, man. I can't believe they made that pick after signing Harris.
But these people weird. Oh, you thought Mbuku surprised me. This just didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, that's definitely the surprise of the draft for me right now so far. Like, what are you doing? I guess they're going to be running the ball a lot. Like, do you think both of them could be fantasy relevant?
They go eat on each other. They go eat into each other. That's just weird. That's weird. Why would you do it? I don't understand. If you wanted another running back and this draft is filled with them, you could have just got one in the third round. Since you got Najee, you could have got one in the third round.
Yeah, I don't know. Crazy. So who we got here? Green Bay, I think, goes Will Johnson. The Vikings will probably go defense. They'll go Malachi Starks if he's there. Then you got the Texans. They could use some wire help, but they need offensive line over that. And then we got the Rams.
You say YR? I gotta ask you now because it's supposed to be WR, but you say YR.
I don't know, man. I'm half
you always be like YR1. I'd be like, why are you talking about YR?
I don't know. I've always done it. I just haven't got off the habit of it. I can't believe they picked Amari and Hampton.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Talking about stuff that don't make sense.
Man, could you have both of them on the field at the same time? Split backfield? One running out and blocking for the other?
I mean, I trust the coach. I only could assume they coach in the gym on lockstep, but man, that's just weird. I don't seem efficient. I don't feel efficient at all.
Well, how long? Najee only signed a 1-year deal, right?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure it was like a 1-year. I want to say $10 million for some reason.
Yeah, it's on 1 year, $5 million.
All right. So yeah, so you get him for a year. Well, Omari learns the system, and then he comes out next year because I don't think you'll see Harris stay there.
Please, if you pick a running back in the first round, you running them. I mean, Harris gonna be a backup, or they're gonna split in the backfield. That's the end of the story.
Yep. Could be the backup.
And I always tell people, man, the teams don't think like us, man. They just we're just happy to get more talent on the team. They think totally different. Hey, let's just get more talent on there. And we don't care. We stacking it at the same position.
Yeah, like even this draft class, like me and Alex, when we did our mock draft, we had a lot of defensive guys. But you see a lot of them is like, no, you got way too many offensive guys in your first round here because it's going to be defense heavy. There's too many good defensive guys in this class.
Yeah, so far only 2 wide receivers have been taken. I'm
2 running backs and 2 tight ends.
I can see the Texans maybe taking a wide receiver, and
They need O-line bad, man. They
Yeah,
dismantled their O-line.
they do. That would be about it. I can't see none of the other teams left taking a wide receiver unless Washington just trying to get more. But that's about it.
Yeah, and I think Washington's a good spot for a trade back partner too, right there at 29. Move back to the early part of the second for a team that wants to trade in for a quarterback, have that 5th-year option. And they only had 4 picks this draft too, so that's why I think they're a good trade back target for people. They're really discussing this Green Bay pick, or they're just because it's in the Green Bay, they're letting the momentum build up. Getting them all worked up. Yeah, I think this will be Will Johnson here because they've given him Jairi Alexander permission to seek a trade. So, and he's been injured a lot lately. They need a replacement for him to guard Justin Jefferson, Ahmad St. Brown, and DJ Moore or Roma Dunze in Chicago.
Still on the clock, people. So I guess Green Bay taking their time.
They're building drama. Malachi Starks would also be a nice pick here too.
Malachi, where is he projected? Oh, he's a safety. They more so need a cornerback. It says.
Yeah, for sure. I think they're going to probably try to trade back. That might be what's taking the time here with how this draft's fallen, because they need the defensive back positions, and there's still a lot of guys out there for that. Add some more picks. Nothing. That's what Green Bay likes to do, right? I'm surprised Nick Emirari is still out there.
Nick. Okay. I don't see it. Minnesota. He might go next pick. Minnesota need a safety. So.
Yeah, that's where Green Bay passes on Malachi Starks for sure. Minnesota will take him. Houston, I think, will go Josh Simmons.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I think they go Josh Simmons.
And then Goody was saying he thinks the Rams might take Shamir Stewart, but I don't know about that. Oh, Green Bay's got their pick in. The pick is in. I wonder. Will Campbell from Michigan, I bet you. Who we got after the Rams? We got Baltimore. They're going to go defense, right?
Probably. I have no clue what they're going to do. Oh, I think I said that. I saw they needed a corner. Wow, Matthew Golden. Matthew Golden. We didn't even mention Matthew Golden.
No, there just hasn't been a team that needed that speedster yet. Like, I think Matthew Golden might end up with the Bills.
No, Green Bay picked Matthew Golden. That's what I'm telling you.
Oh, did they? Get out of here.
Oh, man.
Man, the end of this draft is getting to be a little bit crazy.
Crazy it is. Let's see if they
Man,
get the most out of that.
that's not even a position of need that they need it.
They feel like they need a number one, and so they feel like Patrick Golden is a number one wide receiver.
I
Do
don't
I
know if
feel
he's
like
number one.
he's a number one wide receiver? If you go manufacture touches for him, but you could have been doing that with Jaden Reed instead of playing a man like 50% of the snap, you could have been playing 80% of the snaps and manufacture touches.
Yeah.
Like,
I like Romeo Dobbs too. Like I like him a lot. And then Wicks is pretty good himself. Like,
but it's
I don't know.
It's not looking good as far as the return of Watson. So I guess that's what they're doing. And go ahead and take his place. I guess they want somebody to open up the field. I don't know.
Well, yeah, they need that for that whole system to work. They need to stretch the field. And if Watson, like your best availability or your best trait is your availability.
So I'm looking for a safety to go here. And the safeties that's still on board, like you said Nick on the board, and that's who was projected for the pick, Nick Emmanuel or whatever his name is.
Emmanuel. I think Malachi Starks is the better safety though.
They got him going. I got Nick's going higher than Malachi Starks. At the end of the day, it'd be one of them go. Should be if we're doing sensible picks here. If we're doing sensible picks,
they could go Will Johnson too. I can't believe they took Matthew Golden.
Hey, man.
It's just craziness.
And I wonder if Alex gonna be playing catch up or he paying attention.
Yeah, I don't know. He seemed to have left the studio, so he's not even down below like Goody is, just with an empty chair. He'll probably have to play catch up. Yeah, we've had a couple surprise picks here these last little bit with Golden, Ibuka, Hampton. Not looking good for the fantasy community.
Ethan Curry says y'all think should do it to the Vikings. I thought about that, but that would be another pick that wouldn't make sense to me. It would make sense, but it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, there's no way to do that. No, they got JJ McCarthy. They're pretty happy with him. They've already doubled down on it.
I don't believe in JJ McCarthy, but we'll see.
Well, I don't either, but he's got to get a shot at some point, right? You haven't seen what he can do because he missed the whole season.
Yeah, that's why I was like, it wouldn't make sense for them to pick another first-round quarterback. They haven't even get to see how he look. Unless they got a trade in place.
Golden looks pretty good, man. He got a gold jacket when he come out. Yeah, and Green Bay's first wide receiver they took in the first round since 2002. Who'd they take that year? Do you remember?
2002. God, I can't even remember then. That was you talking about? Is that Devontae Adams?
No, he was a second round pick.
I don't remember them.
Let's call it up.
Eagles working the phone. I thought somebody would try to trade with the Eagles. Somebody go trade with the Eagles. Somebody go get in there and get Shador or Dart. One of them.
Oh yeah, someone's trading up here shortly. I can see the Vikings should trade back with all these safeties that are still out there.
Vikings pick already in. We just
Javon
waiting
Walker was who they took last as a wide receiver in the first round. That's a forgotten name. Javon Walker. Remember him?
No, I do not.
Yeah. He was short lived. Then Greg Jennings came along and Jordy Nelson.
And the Vikings tee.
I think it'd be Malachi Starks over Imari.
We go find out. We go find out.
So they have their pick in there.
Devon. I didn't even see this man on the thing. Somebody said Devon Jackson. I never even seen that name.
Donovan Jackson, the offensive lineman from Ohio State.
There you go.
He
Donovan
played guard.
Jackson.
6'4", 315. That's good for Jordan Mason shares. Jordan Mason's gonna have a big year this year, I think.
I'm not a fan of Jordan Mason. I don't know why people thinking he about to start over on Aaron Jones anyway. Why I'm confused.
Well, he just can't stay healthy anymore. And he's hit that age 30.
I thought he stayed healthy. No, he probably missed a couple of games. He might have missed a couple of games.
And then they keep saying that Mason's going to have a role too, right? So that's how you start carving out a bigger role, is by outproducing the other guy. So it'll be a nice, healthy competition. But I think Jordan Mason's going to hold his own in it. But they're two different guys too, right? Like you could run Mason up the middle a little bit more and have Aaron Jones run those outside zone runs. Something weird happened?
Somebody said trade at 25. Said that New York coming in to trade at 25.
Oh, yeah?
Giants just traded up to the Texans.
That's for a quarterback. Do we have Shador going?
Is it daughter Shador? It got to be a quarterback, bro. It would be no reason why. I'm just surprised the Texans traded out when they needed offensive line badly. So it must have been real lucrative for them.
Yeah, well, you only got Josh Simmons really out there anymore. Maybe
That's what they've been mocking to him for the longest. Maybe they're not in love with Josh Simmons like that.
Yeah, maybe they wanted Donovan Jackson, so they're like, fuck it, let's trade back. Which quarterback you think they're taking? Shador?
In my mind, Shador. Texans trade 25th for Giants in exchange for 34th, 99th, and a 2026 third round pick.
Not bad. It's got to be Shador.
Got to be. I can't even imagine him in nothing but a Giants helmet right now.
Big market. He'll love it.
Unless
be the king of the apple.
But I could also picture them maybe getting Dart and have him sit for a year or two or whatever.
Yeah, I could see that too. And then, like, I don't know. Did you see Deion Sanders' comment that if the Giants drafted Shador, that they'd have to be prepared for Shador to overdo Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston because he's a better quarterback?
Oh, no, I didn't hear that. If he go there and handle his business in practice, he'll be the starting quarterback for the year over. Because believe me, Russell Wilson going to give you a chance to take his job.
Oh yeah. I think he's done. Like he's been done for a while. He's only really worked for Pete Carroll too. Like he fell apart for Tomlin in the playoffs. Tomlin should have stuck with Fields. I think they would have done better.
Jackson Dart, I told you.
Did
Jackson
they? Nice.
Dart.
We've done your homework. Looks knows it's easier to make the right calls when you have the right team. McCaffrey with a tough call. This is a big call, Christian.
Jackson Dart. That's your quarterback in the making.
Which one you gonna
Yep. I like Jackson Dart a lot.
You sure?
I think he'll take over probably week 5, week 6 as the starting quarterback.
I don't think it's any rush. You know, he gonna sit as long as they need him to. I don't think it's any rush. Jackson Dart, ain't gonna be any pressure unless they're like losing badly.
We also got to look. You got the coach and the GM are on a hot seat right now, I would think.
But that's more of a match for the coach than Shador. That I thought Jackson Dart would be more of a match for that coach. What's his name?
Brian Dable. Brian
Yeah.
Dable.
Yeah, I thought he would be more of a match for Dart. Now, the only thing else we could hope is somebody trade in at the Eagles. You know,
well, Washington only has 4 picks this draft.
Because I know how the internet is, bro. They ready to troll Shador. They are ready to troll.
You think the Rams take him, like Goody was saying?
If Goody Notre, we would have to call him Notre Damus. If they took him in the first round, they took him in the first round. We would have to call him Notre Damus. But I know one thing. We got one thing on record. Him thinking that Jimmy Horn gonna be better than Trey Harris. I need to see it.
Yeah, I don't even think Jimmy Horn gets drafted, really. If he does, it'll be in like the 6th or the 7th round, where I think Harris is going to go in like the 3rd or the 4th.
I think, to be honest with you, I think old boy just backed him up Steve Smith. I think Steve Smith just put him like high on his another trade? Now the Falcons on the clock.
The Falcons? What are they doing?
I don't know. Oh, hold up. I don't know. But yeah, I was looking for the Steve Smith. I think he had just ranked him in his like high. He said he went to the pro day and ranked him high.
Yeah, I know he was down on Travis Hunter for something minor, something to do with his hands. Put him up too early.
Nah. This man put Travis Hunter in his own tier at number 1, his own tier.
Well, what would the Falcons be after? Maybe Josh Simmons, the last offensive lineman?
I have no clue. I don't. The Falcons. You can't trust the Falcons. You don't know what they'll do.
James Pierce Jr. Pair him up with Jalen Walker, who they just took. I don't think they go wide receiver, but they could maybe if they're not really sold on Mooney.
What do the Falcons need? Atlanta. The biggest need is edge and cornerback. That's their biggest needs.
Oh, Will Johnson then. So the Falcons got their pick in already.
Yep.
The Ravens are on the clock. I think Ravens go defense for sure.
So yeah, so Steve Smith Jr. did put Jimmy Horn at number 10, so he's high on him too. So hey, good might be on to something. We will definitely see. He might be on to something.
Where did he have Harris?
He had Harris at 13, so he had Jimmy Horn a little above him. Now I should have bet him with Jalen Noel because I do love me some Jalen Noel.
Yeah, I like Jalen Noel too. Yeah, I think he goes next round though.
Yeah.
For this kid sitting in Utah right now, going to Broadway to be the Giants quarterback at some point.
Do we know what the Falcons picked yet?
Is going to have fun throwing the
Nope.
Nope.
The SEC rival is going to get along quite well there as they grow up together. This is someone who got better every year. You see the comparison there with Jalen Hurts, and that's what that's about. You're feeding to someone who just continues to improve. You look at what he does with these kind of up and down throws, over linebackers, under safeties. That shows you the touch.
Let's see. The trade was the Falcons get the 26th pick, third round pick, and the Rams get a second round pick, which is the 46th pick, a 26th first round, and then a 7th pick in this year.
So I think for me, the dynasty number 1 overall pick is going to be
James Pierce. James Pierce.
Yeah, perfect. That's what I thought they would, but yeah, I think it's Gianti in all formats for the number 1 overall pick. We got Ethan Curry who asked us who we think the number 1 dynasty pick will be. You got anybody different than Gianti?
Oh yeah, IDP. I'm going Travis Hunter.
If there's IDP, yeah, but like standard league.
You said all platforms. That's why I just wanted to, I know y'all push IDP leagues, but yeah, it's still Genty. I don't think it's a question now. People's questioning either Omarion or Genty. Now it's not even a question.
Nope. So Atlanta took James Pierce Jr.
Mm-hmm.
That means what are the Ravens going to do then? Donovan Izukuru from Boston College. Mike Green from Marshall. He's still out there.
I said they need an edge and safety.
Well, if they need safety, Malachi Starks or Nick Imurari still out there.
They got a Donovan with a last name I don't even know how to pronounce. Donovan E. out of Boston College.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Izukura or something like that. Izukuru.
They got a Nick Scroshton also. Yeah. Scorton or something.
You think they go with a standard safety here so they can open up Kyle Hamilton like they tried to last year at the beginning before they had to move him to safety?
You're the defensive person. You would have to tell me. Do you think Luther Burden 3 will be available at 38? Who is who at 38 that you trying to get him picked with? I believe he need to go to a good offensive coordinator. I don't believe he should just go to anywhere. I'm curious who had the 38 pick though.
Well, we can see here. Damn computer slow tonight, Terrence.
Oh, he said Patriots. That
Yeah,
would
you
be
could probably
interesting.
go there.
They need wide receiver help. They need wide
Yeah, they
receiver
went Will
help.
Campbell in the first, so now you go out and get your. There'll be him. He'll be there. Higgins will be available. Jalen Nolan will be available. Who else would be a second round receiver? You gonna go?
Since they got Diggs, I think they probably would need either a speedster or a big body. They need one of those. The balance it out.
Well, that's where that Jaden Higgins comes in nice from Iowa State. He's 6'4". He's fast. He's got the best numbers against man coverage too. Wins with a 96% rate. Good at contested catches. I would like him over Luther Burton because he'd be more solid for Drake May.
DJ's right. The Falcons came this close to picking James Pierce at number 15 overall. They have in fact done extensive.
Let's see. They almost the Falcons. I guess the way they traded back in was because they almost took James Pierce over Jalen Walker with their first pick with the 15th. So then when James Pierce kept dropping, they decided to trade in. I think everybody left us tonight, Terrence.
You see that, huh? You see that. I'm trying to stick into the end. Trying to stick into the end.
Yep. We're almost there. What we got? 5 more picks?
That's like an hour.
Yep. Tomorrow will be the day with all the fantasy picks.
I was hoping one of them come back so I can, kind of do whatever. But man.
Yeah. Did Goody just left the room too? Did he?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they get timed out or something after. So who are we on now?
Ravens still on the clock. Haven't put a pick in yet.
So the Lions apparently have been shopping Jamison Williams around. Do you think they could go? The Ravens picks in. Don't know who it is yet, but it's in. And the Lions are now on the clock. They could possibly go wide receiver maybe too. Even if they keep JMO, it'd be nice for them to get a third wide receiver that they can have 3 on the field with Laporta as well.
It said their biggest need is edge, inside offensive lineman, and defensive line. So.
Yeah, an edge rusher to pair up with Hutchinson because they really missed him when he went down last year and they had nobody to cover up. But there's really only one guy out there left for the edge rushers, and that's that Donovan Izukuru.
I wouldn't be surprised if your Malachi Starks go here. And there you go, Malachi Starks.
Nice. Him and Kyle Hamilton back there, man, that's going to be nasty too.
So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
So now we are at the Lions. You think they go that last guy, that Donovan Azukaru.
But that's what the consensus mock draft that I'm looking at got him going. But isn't Josh Simmons still on the board? I can only imagine. Maybe KC might get him to drop to him.
We've been creating it for more than 100 years. From the most advanced technology to the broadest, most reliable network of sales and service dealers. Always moving forward.
Yeah. They'll probably go defensive end. They'll probably take that Donovan guy. So we got wide receiver wise, Luther Burton, really. Somebody could trade into, try to get a quarterback here. Because the Lions could also trade back.
So how you think Matthew Golden going to do in Green Bay?
If he can stay healthy, I think he'll be what they wanted Christian Watson to be. But with those guys that can run that fast, you got to worry about them pulling hamstrings all the time. And he was coming from Texas, going to Green Bay with that cold weather. That slows down speed. So I'm not thrilled about it. I think they got a lot of mouths there, and they like to move the ball around too much. And I don't think they truly want a YR1.
Where was he at? Where was he at on your list?
On mine, he was fourth.
He's not even in my top 5. He's not even in my top 5 right now.
Yeah, I've since dropped him from that episode because he's only really had the one good season in college. So I don't like those one-year wonders that much. But they really want a speedster that can do those sweeps and stuff that LaFleur likes to call, that Christian Watson would do, and stretch the field. The Ravens pick's got to be in. Malachi Starks. Now we get the Lions.
In the 2025 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Malachi Starks.
Yeah, you think it's going to be hard for Joe Burrow to pass on Malachi Starks and Kyle Hamilton? That's going to be fun to watch, man. Those two on the back when you got Chase and Higgins running down the field too. You can cover both sides of it, double team them both.
Good luck. Who knows? That's what they got Riseki for. You cover them too. I'm gonna just throw it in the slot.
Excellent communicator. Down the field, locating the ball in the deep half.
5 more
I want the
picks.
Browns to trade him.
And get Shador.
Yeah. Shador and Jalen Milroe, like, fuck. They're both there at the draft. I don't like it when they invite guys to the draft and then they don't get drafted in the first.
Yeah, I understand the Jalen Milroe invitation. I mean, yeah, I understand that one.
No, neither did I when it happened. I'm like, my first thought was that poor kid. And even when me and Alex did our mock draft, we couldn't even find a spot to fit him into the first round. So I'm like, I just don't see it. And it doesn't even look like Shador's going to go in the first.
And I don't know if their agent or team being honest with them. I would have told them now, let's do a party at the house, and let's not go just in case you don't get drafted,
Yep. Should have. It's not like there was a top. And then they got another quarterback I like in this draft a lot that's not getting too much headway. He'll probably go in late second, early third is Will Howard out of Ohio State. The guy just won a national championship, and he's not even considered as a first-round talent. No, I don't think they have to move up. They could stay there, take a quarterback and another position. It just, especially with the teams that are there, ahead of them. Nobody's taking a quarterback, so somebody's going to have to trade in ahead of them, and they just want to sit and wait. That's my feelings. You got any thoughts on that, Terrence?
You're talking about Cleveland Brown not moving up.
Yeah.
I wanted to see how
Alex
early.
talked about it while you were off, and we both kind of thought that they wouldn't move up because they can just sit there and get two needs right away, and that's why one of the reasons they traded back out of that second position was to get in that position with the 2 first picks in the second.
Well, I wanted to see what the draft order looked like in second round, so I'm trying to find a site to give me that. Because I don't know how early those picks are that the Browns have.
I believe it's the first 2 picks in the second, 33 and 36.
Yeah, well,
So they're 2 early ones.
No, it's 33. Yeah, 33, and I don't see the other one. You got 33 though, but I don't see the other one.
They traded with someone.
Oh, didn't they just get that pick from somewhere?
Yeah.
Did they just pick from somewhere? Was that the Giants that who traded up? Who was that traded up? The Giants?
Well, the Jaguars. They got the Jaguars second.
Okay, so you're right. So the 36. Okay. 30,
Okay.
33,
Yeah.
36. So yeah, so at this mock draft I'm looking at with Walter Football, they got the Browns taking Shador at the 33rd pick.
Yeah, like I think they just sit there and they wait, and if they don't get Shador, they can just go switch to Jalen Milroe. It just makes too much sense to wait.
I would, if I was the Brown, if I'm gonna pick him at the 33, might as well pick him at the 32nd to get the 5th-year option and just throw him.
Oh, Talik Williams to the Lions, defensive tackle out of Ohio State.
Yeah, I would throw in like a 7th-round pick just to move or one spot to switch, or maybe or switch a couple picks, switch a pick around or something in one of the rounds, just to move and get that 5th-year option for Shador. That's what I would do.
So Washington's on the clock. They've only got 4 picks, though. So that's why I've got them as a top target for people to trade up to. But I also think they could stay here and take another guy at the wide receiver position and have a 3-headed monster for Jaden Daniels too. So they have 5 picks. So they have this first, a second, a 4th, a 6th, and a 7th. Or do they take that last defensive edge guy from Boston College, Donathan E? That's what I'm going to call him, Donathan E. It's a lot easier to say.
Change in the way that they were going to rush the quarterback mid-year after their loss to Oregon with that defense. Larry Johnson, their defensive coach, and Talik Williams took that philosophy change.
A lot of Giants fans in the house tonight. I do like the Jackson Dart pick, though. I like Jackson Dart over Cam Ward.
Fantasy-wise, I do too. I don't. That's a real quarterback. To give me Cam Ward, because I just don't trust every organization to cultivate them. But he did go to the right coach. I do trust. I don't know how long the coach gonna be around, but I do trust Brian Dable to cultivate Dart. I just don't know how long he gonna be around.
Yeah, you kind of got to wonder if they're going to give him an extra year with them, because I hate when they freaking draft a quarterback and then boot out the coach and the GM, and then you're starting over because that guy never gets a fair chance, right? Like Josh Rosen's a perfect example. Draft him,
Well,
and then you get a new coach, and then he goes to the GM. I don't like him. I want this guy. I want my guy. And then Kyler Murray gets drafted first overall, and I wouldn't say he's been like a franchise changer. He's not built like that. He's too small.
Josh Rosen and Daniel Jones is 2 first-round quarterbacks that are a part of a team. No badges. They didn't earn none of my badges, so I've never been in on any of them.
Well, if you remember the time when Daniel Jones got drafted 6 overall, that was kind of a shocker pick. Most people hadn't even heard of him. It's like, who at a Kentucky? Nobody even had him on the radar for the first round. And here they come in the top 10, taking him 6 overall. But at least they did it right this time. You know, they took a dual Carter, helped fix up that defensive line, and then they moved up back from the second into the back end of the first and took a quarterback they liked.
But that's why I was so out on Will Levis when he was coming out and people was saying that he was going to be drafted in the first round. I was like, if he's going to be drafted in the first round, then he's not going to have any of my badges. That means I'm projecting him to fail, you know, and he did fail. He did fail. Matter of fact, I got pinned on my Twitter. There is no serious, legitimate GM that would draft Will Levis in the first round. I still got that pin on the top of my Twitter.
Yeah, I never understood why people thought he was a first round talent. It said Zach Wilson, like he never should have been a first round talent. They fall in love with these arm throws that are planned and practice over and over for their pro days, and you fall in love with it and get googly eyed and draft them, and then they just fall apart.
I like Zach Wilson. I just think the Jets is a horrible organization to go to as a rookie quarterback. Don't do it. Like it's horrible. I actually like them as a prospect.
I'm just letting the dog in. I'll be back 30 seconds.
All right. And now we down to 1. You know, and of course it wouldn't be me.
I'm still here,
Terrence. Let me talk about
it. Just had to let the dog in. He knocked.
Washington drafts Josh Connolly Jr., offensive tackle out of Oregon.
Nice. That's who I thought that the Chiefs were going to take at 31.
I told you. I'm looking for Josh Simmons to fall to them, and that's who we're going to take.
I just thought he would go a lot earlier than these other guys because I like Simmons a lot.
Let's see what the Bills need. Buffalo need a cornerback, defensive lineman. Isn't that Will Johnson? Is he still on the board?
Yep.
He go. All right.
They just traded that Elam, who they drafted in the first a couple of years ago from Florida, on Trent Richardson's team, which I never understood being a Gators fan, as you could tell, why Anthony Richardson or Elam were even first-round picks. That's right. The Ravens got a nasty safety combination now with Malachi Starks and Kyle Hamilton. It'll be interesting, though, to see if they move Kyle Hamilton up like they were at the beginning of the season last year and try to go with that plan, though. See what the Bills need. You think the Bills go wide receiver here? They typically don't, but
I can't. That would be weird. I don't know who would fit their system. Would it be Higgins? They need somebody
Yeah, put
fast.
him in.
They do need a field stretcher, I would think. If there was the
Yeah, I
goal,
do too.
if they would go wide receiver.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if they do it though in the first, but he would be a nice fit. Then you'd have two twin towers between him and Coleman on the outsides, and then you could have Shakir working out the slot, which would be nice. And then you have Kincaid as the tight end opening up stuff, work in the middle. James Cook get to the backfield.
I take that back. I don't know if they need a wide receiver if they're running the two tight end sets. They don't got room for a wide receiver, another wide receiver to get on the field.
Who's their second tight end?
Knox.
I thought he just signed somewhere else.
I don't think so. I ain't hear that one. I forgot his first name though.
No, you're probably right.
The Bills depth chart still show, and they showed Dawson Knox as the first tight end. Tight end 1.
Do they?
Yeah.
I know he's best friends with Josh Allen, so I just thought they moved on from him already.
No.
So we got Buffalo. Yeah, then Buffalo. Who's their cornerbacks if you got their depth chart up? I know they just signed Tre'Davious White, but he hasn't been the same since his injury.
Dane Jackson. I'm sure there is White.
Yeah, they got to be going Will Johnson. Then.
Hold on, what's the NB? What's that?
A what?
NB.
Nickelback corner.
Okay, that's Tyron Johnson. Tyron Johnson.
Yeah, that's a new position that started. They gave it a name now for the guys who cover the slot receivers. The ones that like have that short area quickness, and that's why they invited that Maxwell Harrison from Kentucky, because he's got that short area quickness and he's the best nickelback corner in the class. Bills taking their time. Pick is in, though. And the Chiefs are on the clock. We'll bring this show home, Terrence.
We got to.
Show must go on.
It's always.
Alex wants to delay our recording because we're going to be talking late tonight. Now I'll be like, you didn't talk late.
I
don't know where Terry went either.
You probably say I'm going to bed.
Oh yeah. Well, he did say he didn't know how long he'd make it. I've seen you've been having a lot of people on your channel lately doing.
Not a lot, but I've been dishing out the shorts, but not a lot. But I always have fun when I have it's always better, man. I don't know. I don't like filming alone. Like I have more fun when I film with other people, man.
Oh yeah,
trade.
I get that.
Eagles are on the clock. The Eagles wanted to trade up.
The Eagles moved up. Who the hell would they be after? No, the Eagles moved up one pick.
I guess they didn't want to. Maybe they go after Simmons.
Yeah, maybe because their line is getting older. Lance Johnson can't be there too much longer.
I know one thing. If I'm the Kansas City, I'm not trading with the damn Eagles. F you. Maxwell Harrison was drafted by the Bills.
All right. So he was the best corner slot receiver.
Eagles traded one spot up with the Chiefs, so they are now on the clock.
That's a weird trade.
I ain't trading with
Hey.
nobody that just beat me.
Ask the Buffalo Bills if they would ever trade with Kansas City again. They're the one that traded with them that gave them Mahomes.
Eagles trade the 32nd and the 164th pick to the Chiefs to trade up that one pick. What's the 164th pick? What is that? Like the 5th round? End of the 4th, maybe?
Yeah, into the 4th.
Nah, end of the
No, 120
5th.
at the end of the 4th. So yeah, end of the 5th.
Yeah, end of the 5th.
I can't believe Maxwell Harrison got selected over Will Johnson. Someone's getting a steal there. Probably the Chiefs.
The Chiefs go Chief.
So this Eagles pick should come in pretty quickly then.
Who Philadelphia need anyway? They needed an edge, DL, safety. So we'll see. They even put a wide receiver for them. I don't think they need a wide receiver.
They've been searching hard for that third guy. Like they traded for Juan Johnson. They just signed Terrence Marshall. Who else have they tried over the years? They tried Jalen Reagor for a bit.
I mean, do they really need a third guy? Are they running 3 wide receiver sets? Or do they really?
I don't think you do now that you got Barkley that you're just running the team through him, but they still try to find that third guy.
I think I like Jahan Dotson. I like Johnny Wilson. So you just need to cultivate the talent, man.
People don't like to wait anymore, man. It's got to happen now. And if it doesn't happen now, you're gone. There's no more developing. Know what I'm saying? Man, I'm interested in this Eagles pick here because that's one of the strangest little trades I've seen.
I wouldn't even be surprised somebody come up and trade Max. No, okay, their pick is in. So we got a minute left. Oh, Will Johnson. Oh no, somebody said the Eagles getting Will Johnson here is ridiculous, so that didn't confirm it. That did not confirm it. I need a confirmation.
And then if they don't go Josh Simmons, friggin' the Chiefs got to go Josh Simmons.
I'm telling you, if I was the Browns, I would be calling the Chiefs right now to trade in that in the round, get that 5th-year option on Shador.
Yeah, you think it'd be an easy trade, right? Because the Chiefs aren't looking at Shador, so they still get their guy for moving back one and collect some more picks.
And your family, you love them so much that you are wearing them with your heart and soul tonight. Show us your
Yep.
Jahad Campbell.
Oh, the linebacker. Fuck, man. They got more dangers at the defense there.
They could have waited for that pick. Probably could have waited for that pick. All right.
Yeah, because
the last pick of the draft, last pick of the first round, I mean, Chiefs are on the clock.
Like they would have had the thought the Chiefs were going to take Jaheed Campbell to trade in front of them.
It's been a long night. Go ahead and end it. End it in a good way.
Right. Let's the Chiefs take a running back here. Trayvon Henderson.
I was thinking that.
Yeah. But yeah, the Browns should be calling them if they want that 5th-year option just to make it cheaper in the short run or the long run, I guess, if it works out.
This stuff kills weeds down to the root without killing your lawn. This stuff works on dandelions, pepper, quote. This stuff works for up to 3 months. This stuff works guaranteed for your money back. This stuff works on big lawns, small lawns, and I guess you can call that a lawn lawns. This stuff works without killing your lawn. This stuff works without killing your weekend. This stuff works for the rookies and the seasoned pros. This stuff works in Knoxville, Bronxville, Rockville, Marysville. This is Roundup for lawns. This stuff works.
Apparently, what's his name? Rashid Rice has been doing some workouts with Patrick Mahomes, running routes, throwing balls. And Patrick Mahomes says he looks good, so they'll have him, Xavier Worthy at wide receiver. You think Pacheco comes back from that leg break? I think he came back too early. He should have said it the whole year.
I don't know. Leg breaks is usually the quickest to heal. Bones is quicker to heal than anything.
Yeah, he just didn't look the same because I think he rushed back because he was scared of Kareem Hunt taking his job. And then they re-signed Hunt to a 2-year contract, I believe it was.
They also signed Elijah Mitchell from the 49ers.
Oh yeah, that's right. But he hasn't been healthy for 2 years. He missed all last season and he got hurt the year before.
Yeah, all last season. Don't say 2 years.
Well, basically, he got hurt like week 4 2 years ago and hasn't played since. Because it was early. It was in that first quarter.
I know he went ham whenever CMC went down. He definitely showed up. I wouldn't be surprised if 49ers pick up Donovan Edwards late in the draft. That's feel like a 49er pick.
Yeah, replace Jordan Mason for that short yardage work. I can see that. I also like Damian Martinez. If they could get him, I would be excited about that.
He's going earlier. He will be going earlier. A lot of teams like him. So I can see him going in the 3rd round to a team, 4th at the latest.
Oh, yeah, I think so too. But I think that 3rd round is going to be the 49ers. And then you have him and Garendo that you can use after you're done with your Christian McCaffrey experiment.
Pick is in. No trade.
Here we go.
No
Who we got
Sanders
wrapping up
round.
First night of the draft. No Shador, no Jalen Milroe.
Crazy
Man,
work.
that Eagles defense looks nasty. I think they took Josh Simmons here.
Well, I've been saying that, so we'll see.
Well, I think they wanted that guy that just went the last offensive lineman there. Check his name. I think they wanted Josh Cornley, who the Commanders took. I do like that Jaheed Campbell pick though to the Eagles. With him, he's like a solid find the ball, nose for the football, good intelligence. They've been trying to find with Nakobe Dean, and who was the other guy that they had? Oh, Zach Bond. He was freaking him and Zach Bond will work good together. Pick is in. See anything yet?
Drum roll.
Jonathan Zuccaroo from Boston College. I want this pick to be Trayvon Henderson just to set the world on fire.
That would be a way to end this. Good talking point.
Yep.
Oh, it's taking a while to come in. And the last pick of the first round, the Kansas City Chiefs select. And I thought it would have came up by now. Man, I guess we're going to get it online at the same time because nobody tweeting the pick.
Nobody's interested in what the Chiefs want?
Josh Simmons. There you go.
That's who it is?
Yeah.
Nice. That's who I thought it would be. It's a good draft. Good draft. A lot of surprises actually near the end, eh? With the Ibuka, Hampton.
The biggest surprise was Hampton, yeah. Marion Hampton is the biggest surprise for me. Baffling.
Yeah, me too. And then after that, probably Ibuka. And then Matthew Golden. I was a little surprised on that one.
I thought about it, but I didn't think they would go through with it because they haven't picked a wide receiver in the first round so long. I didn't think any wide receivers worth going there, to be honest. Worth being picked in the first round. Other than if it wasn't Ibuka or Tech McMillan, I didn't think none warrant there. I mean,
yeah, I'm with you. I thought somebody would fall in love with Tet. I don't think he's a first-round talent, but I think people would fall in love with the size and what he can bring to the table and what they could work with because he does have some speed. He does great at contested catches. So I knew someone would drop him early. Ibuka's definitely a first-round talent. Matthew Golden, I thought high first probably. Both tight ends I thought would go. The two running backs like I thought. So tomorrow will be the day for fantasy. Today is the day for NFL and get their defensive guys, offensive guys, line guys, protect their quarterbacks. But just you want to wrap her up and thank everyone. We can sign off.
I appreciate everyone that did come out and watch the draft with us. Well, listen to our conversation while the draft was going on. And hey, we'll definitely see you next week.
That's right. We'll be at 6:30 next week. Stay tuned, or we'll see you then. Thanks for watching, everyone.